It's too early, but that's okay. My gym workout was phenomenal. Before I went home, I decided to stop over at my mother's house. I haven't seen my mother in 2 months. I know she's going to be very surprised to see me. I can't wait. What the? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The first thing I noticed was this person's skin. What is going on? Uncomplicated, untreated skin? Who is this guy? I had to take a step back, but then I realized it was my brother. But look at his skin. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? I had to take a closer look and figure out what was going on. Best believe I crept up on him. Peep this. I'm still looking at his skin, trying to figure out how did we get here. I could do nothing but shake my head. He could definitely use my help. I had to get to the bottom of this. He definitely needed some game about his skin. I'm just staring at it, like looking at it. Come on, bro. I knew what to do. I had to reach in my bag and get that Tiege Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. Bro, this is why I'm excited to have Tiege Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. They have helped me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and the grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My brother was so excited. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Shout out to Tiege Hanley. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description, and not only will you get Tiege Hanley for the best possible price, but they'll also give you a free gift with your first box. Click that link and get started today. Just $30. Feel the Tiege. Let the Tiege force be with you.
All right, it's go time. What's going on, family? Welcome to King Talk. Let me introduce the crew. We got Dr. HD in the house. We got Ricky Williams, King Rio, Shannon Rawls, Eric Harrison, Mr. Lego, Sir Rashawn Ali, RJD, and me, myself, and Lapeef JR. Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on? How y'all doing?
What's happening? What's happening?
What up? What's the word, Kings? What's the word?
Not much, same old same.
What's up?
Kind of like Mr. Let Go. Mike is always, game is always high, ain't it?
Yo, everywhere, Clubhouse and in real life. My man's mic is always on fire.
Yes, sir. What's up, Rod?
What's the word, King? How you?
Peace and blessings, everybody. How everybody feeling?
What's going on with you, bro?
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm in Miami right now, man. I just touched down earlier.
Man, you always trying to stun on us, Ali.
Don't do that. That's not what I'm
Different
trying to
city
do.
every week now, man. It's like your third city. It's like your third city in 3 weeks. Was you doing a tour?
Bro, man. I'm just setting it up for all of us to go on tour. You heard?
You sitting in front of a bathroom or something? What was that? What's going on behind you?
This is the downtown Brickell. I chilled.
Oh, okay.
Don't let me get on my Anton tonight. Let me get on my boy. Nah, chill. This ain't that.
Okay.
You know. I don't
know. Okay, that's what's up.
It's a little glare.
Nice little window.
Yeah, you know we do penthouses everywhere we go, man. Let me stop. Let me chill. Let me chill. Let me relax. Yo, that was my Anton not here, man. So I just thought in the name of Anton, I thought I'd throw that in there.
Okay, man. You
definitely got your paid in full script ready, man. So shout out to you, Money Making Mitch. Shout out to you, man.
Hoo-ah!
All right, man. Good to see you, gentlemen, in the house today. Eric, RJD, I know it's your first time here, so welcome. Hopefully, it's a lovely experience. If not, then I'll do a survey at the end and see if we can do any improvement. I hand it right over to King Rio. He's in charge of that, so he does all of the back end work. Look at the analytics and see where we need to tweak it at. So, Rio, just let me know if you get anybody reach out to you.
Got you.
That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to the sponsor, Tej Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. Make sure you guys click that link in the description and fill it, Tej. Also, with that being said, let me check the chat out real quick. Green Gang, I see you are in full effect in the chat. TAP, TAP, accountability partner, Stephen Day. Doug Will is in the house. Miss Nurse Fancy, I haven't seen you in a while over here. Catherine Forbes, welcome. Let me see if we got anybody else. Malevolent Elephant, good to see you, sir. So shout out to everybody that's in the Green Gang that's in the chat. If you haven't already, make sure you guys like the stream and also subscribe to the channel. All right, let's go get the show started. Our first topic of the night, gentlemen. First topic of the night is, what is a leftover woman? You ever heard this terminology? I know Shan has. He's heavy into the space. When they
Shan done had a few.
Yeah, had a few. Okay. Let me go ahead and play this clip for you guys.
About what Kevin was saying, he's referring to something that's been in China. They have something called leftover women. Okay,
yeah, that's exactly what he's talking about.
Let me give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's an article that came out about 7 years ago, and China is going bankrupt because they have so many, or actually South Korea, they have so many women who are unmarried, and they're not contributing to the tax base because women don't make enough money to support themselves in the society. Same thing here in the United States. Men make more money. We contribute more to the tax base. It is the men's taxed money that pays for the roads, that pays for the ambulance, or the utilities that we use. It's men. So when a woman has a job, she's not making enough or not paying enough back in the system to take care of her end of the social financial contract that you have with the country.
All right, let's talk about what is a leftover woman. We had Dennis Sperling articulate his version of what it is. I know Shan shook his head. He was one of the first ones on the panel. Very familiar. And somebody else on the panel said that Shan may have had a few of these in his time. So, Mr. Shannon Rawls, you are up to the stage right now, sir. What do you got? What are your thoughts about what is a leftover woman and what Dennis Sperling was saying?
Well, it's a term. It's a Chinese. So, Xingnu, SHENGNU. That's the term. Xingnu. It was an article, and Brother Dennis is referring to an article that came out talking about women who were not married. So in the Western world, right, we talk about hitting the wall and all that. We don't have a real specific term other than spinsters, which is in America. So a woman who's a spinster is typically a woman who was never married, never had children, and has gone beyond the point where a man would typically want her for her beauty, right? And I think is it 2040? We're going to have an influx of spinsters based on the behavior of women on the West Coast. They think that it's cute today, right? Because, we never look forward. We never look in the future for anything. So a lot of women, this whole boss bitch, I'm independent. I don't need no, and, get on my level type shit. And hypergamy is built in. And we understand hypergamy, but the reality is a lot of women are not just looking for men that are on their level. They're looking for men far above their level, right? That's what made Kevin so famous with that one, Your Average at Best video. So we're going to have an influx of spinsters in America, but currently China and the Eastern world is dealing with a lot of Xingnu women. And the Xingnu women is 27 years old in China. Over here, we talk about 35, we talk about 40. In China, if you are a 27-year-old woman and you're not married, it is almost impossible to find a husband because the men over in China, old and young, are looking at the younger women. So that's what they mean by leftover. It's not a dig per se. It's not an insult, as you put it. It simply means that if relationships is the purpose of human mating, one of the main reasons that we're on this planet is to procreate and be fruitful and multiply, and you get to the point where a man doesn't want you, you're Xing Nu.
Damn.
Yo, I'm a little heartbroken by this situation because according to what Dennis Sperling said and what Shane just said, over here in America, they want leftover women to be where they are because according to what he said, and let me know if I'm wrong, is a certain group or demographic or amount of women that are a part of the society over there that isn't making enough money to hold up, in order for them to be taxed, right? So because of that, they need the women to be married. But over here, the government promotes single motherhood and paying women money to not have a man, to have fatherless babies. So they are producing leftover women over here, which means, and let me know if I'm wrong, it's due to the fact that Black men are not making enough money on their own where it makes more sense to boost up the Black women. So you got Black men making half the money and then Black women making half of the money. And now everybody is taxed versus us being married. So is that true that according to everything I just heard, leftover women over here is actually pushed for it to actually be a thing?
Yes, because economically, it makes more sense for the government to have more single people because they spend more. You have separate households, right? So you have separate mortgages, separate everything, utility. So the money goes up. I mean, Thomas Sowell talks about this in his book called, I think it's Economics 101. So yes, it makes more sense over here because the government can make more money because even if they give the single mother money, right, it's taxpayer dollars, right? And so you can raise, so inflation goes up as well.
Money gets smaller.
Go ahead.
And I spoke about this on the show. And what people don't understand is that this puts in an innate competition already built in between men and women. Right? We look at this opposition because no matter what, until we get to the person, hopefully, right, that we can build a life with, we looking at each other like I gotta compete with you for this dollar and these resources. So we're natural adversaries at this point.
That goes all the way back to back in the day when I say it all the time, when the little girl falls on the floor and they coddle her. The whole room stops. The little boy falls, they tell him to man up. We've been at war with our girls since day one. Like subconsciously, we've been at war, bro. Like now it's the money factor. Like we got more divorces in households because of money than anything else.
And now mothers are telling their daughters to get up, suck it up, and don't cry. I actually was around a family and the mom was there and, grown daughters are at the table. And I'm like, yo, so did you teach, it was like 3 women. I'm like, did you teach them all this tough people shit? And she was like, yeah, I didn't know what else to do. So yeah, I taught them not to cry. I taught them to be tough. I taught them to be independent because I had to be this and that. And to me, it's the only way you survive. And I'm like, so all of this, what we're talking about now is literally opening my eyes to what the hell is actually happening. They're trying to keep all of us single in order for them to be able to tax all of us in a more efficient manner versus us being married and the woman being home or something like that. Apparently that doesn't work for our society over there. Over here, I guess mainly for black people. So they keep doing shit to keep us separated. So she'll have a job and he'll have a job. And then you got men who make some more money. Because the average woman makes about $51,000 a year. And I think the average man makes $47,000 a year. So it's like, we make more money than y'all. So it just keeps us competing with each other instead of marrying each other. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, and actually, one of the things that I see too, fellas, and Lego, you just brought it up. I was going to bring up the same thing. Real talk. You see that in every industry. Every industry now has a woman competing against a man. And right now, there's a bank that I consult for, and it's in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I can tell you right now that the main leadership in a certain department is all women. All women. There are no men, like no men at all. And it's set up that way. You can see that it's set up that way. As a matter of fact, every time a woman wins an award, small awards, they pumping out like corporate wide. But if a man does something, it's nothing. And like you said, it's more about the taxation and more money being pumped into the system instead of having relationships. Whereas we can appropriate. Well, you know what you said. That word ain't coming out right. But so that we can multiply and do this thing the right way. And it's wild, man. It's sad. And I've had a lot of women let go, whereas their mothers told them, you don't need a man. You need to go get a job so that you don't have to depend on a man. I hear that so often these days. So you on point with that, bro.
And I don't think, Mr. Lego, I don't think women have surpassed men in income just yet. They're catching up though. They're moving fast. Men within their specific demographic. Yeah, men still make more than women, but the women they're moving fast. But the thing is though, black men do make enough. You know, most black men are middle class or higher. We make enough. The problem is what they're selling is what we make ain't enough. We make enough to have a family, to get an apartment, to buy a decent car, to go to work, to have food on the table, to watch Netflix, to have heat and hot water and running, you know, and in a bed, in a separate room for the children. We make enough money by and large. But they're saying there's what they're selling to us in media and television and music videos and on and radio and on every billboard is, oh, that's not enough. You need a Bentley. You can't have a Benz. You don't need a BM. You don't need a Honda Accord. That's not good enough for you. And don't you get no man that drives a Nissan. No, you need a man that has a 750i. He has to have a Lamborghini. And if you don't have a man that has a Lamborghini, ladies, then I don't know what's wrong with you. And that's what they're selling it. And so
drinking it up too, King. They are drinking that up like it's water.
And Shannon, you hit it right on the nose with that making enough. You know, last year, black people in general spent $1.8 trillion.
And that's the thing, Rashawn. It's the spending and not the making that they're screwing us up at.
100% is what we spending on. You 100% right. We spend it with everyone else except for ourselves. And I'm waiting for these numbers to come back because I was looking at to see how much of that 1.8 trillion went to black companies like our own. We talk about black people in general. So I'm waiting for those numbers to come back on that one. But however, man, that would make us the 90. If we spent it with ourselves, that would make us 95. We would be 95% out of all of the countries. 100% of the countries around the world would be more richer than 95% of the countries around the world. It's 1.8 trillion. But the thing is, as everyone said, they got this competition thing going back and forth, having you competing, you know, with your woman and having her competing with you. So it's ego playing that game. and they just using all of our weaknesses, divide and conquer. That's really the tactic right there. Divide and conquer.
It's not even ego, Rashawn. It triggers the survival mechanisms.
That's true. Yes, sir. You're right.
And that's why this is what I say again. I should smack all of y'all because I done said this on my show. I don't know how many times, bro. This is facts. JR is here. He'll tell y'all. I done said this I don't know how many times. Right? This is the whole, and you gotta applaud the people who put the system in because it is proof of concept. It runs itself. The ant farm needs we need no stimuli. We do it to each other automatically. And everybody's too afraid to just say, you know what, we're not gonna do that no more.
Well, you know why they're afraid though? Because every time somebody says something and stands up and has their chest out and say, hey, this is the way to do it. Oh, it's all types of vitriol coming at them. It's all types of things being said about them. Character assassination, different things of that nature to take them down so that it tries to discredit the words that they say. They may be telling you the right thing to do, but then many times what happens is they bring out something to try to discredit that person and bring them down. And oftentimes they may even bring out the fact, just like our brother said earlier, about how much money they make. Not so much what they do with the money they make. One of the things my father always said was this, y'all. It's not how much you make, it's what you do with what you make. And that's the thing that is not perpetuated in our society today. Just like this platform that we're on right now. If you go off of this and hit YouTube, and I bet you the next 5 videos you tap, it's going to hit on all these things that we talked about. Not the good stuff about men doing what they're supposed to do with their bread, but it's about that other stuff. The cars, the money. Look, it's the holiday season. How much bread you going to spend on your woman? And how much bread she going to spend on you? Or how much bread you going to spend on yourself?
Is it true that women spend more money per year than men?
Yes.
Yes, because all advertisement is predicated on
towards women.
I mean, if you go to the mall, you see how many stores are
women. So they cater to women and children.
Just look at Amazon. I think that's the only reference you need. You know what I'm saying? Like,
say that again, Ricky.
Look at your girl in Amazon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yo, Ricky, I was about to say the same thing. Every time I turn around, they're at my door. Every time I turn around, they are at my door. Real rap.
Hey, go ahead, Rio. I'll tap into this.
I have more of a question than anything. One of the things that came to mind for me was intermarriage. So my question is, do we as Black men choose to predominantly choose to date and marry Black women because of our dedication to marrying inside of our race and our dedication to our Black women? Or are we less desired by women of other races? Because either way, I mean, it doesn't matter what color a person is. If a Black man has a child by a woman, he's gonna have a Black child, right? So that's not the issue, right? What, at this stage in the game, what is the reason why we are so dedicated? And is it that we're dedicated, or is it that other races aren't looking at us unless we're rich?
I think it's ass and hips. Like Black women are the only humans on the planet that have the ass and hips. And I think we've gotten so used to it because, you know, it's in front of us all the time on TV, the rap videos. You know, white women, like when I was younger, white women was always like Barbara Streisand or whatever. They were just always skinny. They just, you know, it wasn't even about titties. It was just, she's a woman with long hair. You know, the Bo Derricks, they'll just be like waving their hair around, and, you know, it was just a bunch of hair shit. You know what I mean? But when it came to women being portrayed, it was about their hips and their asses. And we just grew up like loving and wanting and yearning for a woman with a fat ass. But the rest of the world don't care about fat asses because they ain't stupid like us. They want a woman. They want a family. We just worrying about some fat ass. So I think that's the reason why we feel so dedicated to black women because that's somewhat the only place we're going to get those things. And I think we're just, I don't know the word for it. We're just conditioned to look for a woman that has a nice shape instead of a nice brain or a set of common, some common sense. She could be dumb as shit, but if she's fine, we're gonna deal with her.
How do you get to know her brain before her body though? You gotta be attracted by what you see first.
Not only that. I mean, when we fast forward to now, Mr. Let Go, I think we're noticing that shape doesn't always come with blackness anymore. Let's just be honest. I mean,
I'm just saying overall though. I'm just saying overall throughout the years.
I think it's just people are naturally attracted to their own.
I would just you just said it. You just said it. I didn't even think that Mr. Lego was going to go that route. I thought and I think it's in one of the books that you got, Mr. Lego. What people normally date or try to be with natural. It's like a natural instinct with their own, right? You don't really see lions trying to mate with tigers, right? You just don't see that happening. You see, our Arabs really want to mate with an Arab, a Indian want to mate with another Indian, right? They have pride in who they are, so they want to naturally be with their own. And so it's a natural instinct, and there's nothing wrong with us wanting to be with our own. But I agree with you. I think that we need to have discernment of choosing the right one for us.
But just keep this in mind. We're all lions, white, black, Arab. We're all the same species. You feel me? So even though I understand what you're saying, but we're still within our own species. So it's like a lion that is lighter versus a lion that's darker, or a lion that has this type of mane. You know what I'm saying? So we're dating within our species.
No, but the cat species is a cat species. Rather, it's a tiger or a lion, but you don't see a tiger trying to chase after and mate with the lion. Those are same species. It's like birds. It's a bird species.
Okay.
You see a woodpecker trying to mate with a blue jay.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense.
So in 2000, I think it was around 2002, 2003, there was a psychoanalysis done as to why we date who we date and why we marry who we marry, why we like who we like black men. I think the percentage is around 83% date our own women, right? We stick to our women more than anybody else, despite the what people say. But the psychoanalysis that came out was we typically date our parents. Women, generally speaking, find somebody who resembles, not only just looks like, but talks like and thinks like her father, if she had one. And men typically look for somebody that's just like their mom. It's one of the reasons, and Mr. Lego, you talk about it all the time, especially when we talk about these young men that grew up fatherless and now they're becoming how they are because they're the 50-50 and all that, because they've seen their mom being a superwoman. Men are out looking for a replacement of their mother to be their lover and have somebody at home with them to fall in love with, because they fell in love with their mom, right? So, and I forget, it was I don't know where the study was done, but I know it was around 2003 or so that when they did the psychoanalysis, that human beings, and the reason why we intermarry why we intermarry within our own race is typically because the woman that you fall in love with resembles all the wonderful things that you loved about your mother. And then that's why you find that. And then when it comes to looks, that's part of it as well. So let's not remove that portion of the reason why the human psyche typically falls for an archetype of person that they fall in love with.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because I mean, I even see it, within myself, and I think it's probably the same across the board. Black has always been a requirement. I didn't necessarily know why that is. Almost, I think I was just raised, conditioned to think that way. Had I not been, I don't know if I would have had that bias, so to speak.
Well, I'm glad my bad, I didn't cut you off, King.
No, go ahead.
No, I married a Dominican woman. You know what I'm saying? And that my choice growing up and was based upon my mother, my aunts, and my grandmothers. There was no way in the world. I love all of them to death, but there was no way I could be with anyone, any prototype at all, because I just couldn't do it. The attitudes, the headaches, the annoyance, I just couldn't deal with it. So me personally, I had a Jones for Dominican women. So my whole entire life, I've dated black girls, definitely dated a whole bunch of them. But when it came down to what I chose, what I wanted to go forth with, nah, it was hands down. There was no question for me.
Yeah, I'm addicted to black women. The shit is annoying as hell. So I feel you on that. Like, golly.
Nah, don't get me shot. Don't get me shot.
I can't do nothing, but I love them. But goddamn, bro. Golly,
then we got
like,
traumatic
geez.
issues. You know, the black community, the ADOS or however you want to call it, the FBA, black people in America, we got our traumas, and we got our issues with everything. And when we see shit, like that's one of the reasons why I never really drank. People always say, you know, like I grew up in, you know, when I grew up in my neighborhood out here in LA in the 80s, all my homies was drinking 40 ounces, you know what I'm saying? Old English 800, drinking Cisco's. And I didn't drink because I saw the fuck ups that they were doing. I said, well, if I start drinking, I might like it, then I'll fuck up like them. So I avoided it because I saw the pitfalls that they were doing. They start smoking weed. So I was like, well, damn, these niggas is dumb. So I said, well, I don't want to smoke weed because they was telling us that this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. We had the whole frying eggs and shit. I grew up around that. So I was like, I don't want my fucking brains to fry. So I used some deductive analysis. So I ain't doing that shit. Same thing with people with traumatic experiences. If you watch your mom being something that you don't like, if you watch your father being somebody you don't like, you could run from that too. So we have traumatic experiences, but by and large, that's what we go for because most of us love our parents and shit.
So we answered the question, what is a leftover woman?
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go.
Did we answer that question? So basically a woman that has reached a certain level where nobody wants her.
Well, no, I think in America, wouldn't it be a different definition here? According to everything that we just said, women are valued to be like leftover women are valued here because they are more taxable as themselves. You know, this independent woman bullshit, you know, it's been programmed into women. So it seems like they want the women to be leftover. So I don't think they're considered leftover over here. They're considered like government assets. They're either living off the government or working for the government. Because a woman has a fatherless baby. She puts her man on child support and she now works for the government. If that makes sense.
Mr. Lego, she's valuable to the government. Yes. In the sexual marketplace, no. But to the government, she's a gold mine. She's a cash cow.
But isn't the government calling them leftover women over in Korea?
Correct.
The government calls them leftover women because they're not taxable. They're not valuable to the government in some type of roundabout way. Black women are valuable to the government here. Therefore, I don't think we can look at women here as leftover women. Because
I'm convoluting the two different. I'm mixing them up.
Yeah.
I'm mixing them up.
It's not about us. It's about what the government deems these women as.
Exactly. Yeah, look at it from a payroll perspective.
Exactly.
There, they're looking at it as an expense. Here, they're looking at it as an asset.
Got it. I see. I mixed it up. My bad.
Yeah. And again, like we said earlier, gentlemen, the wild thing about it is this. And my brother Ricky, you said you hit it on the point, and we kind of scaved over it and kept going. The system, right? The system needs everybody to be earners in some sort of way. So it's not just a couple in a household, right? Whereas you may not make as much, like you may make $80,000, but you budget right, you do what you need to do, and you're with your woman and y'all making this thing work. There are people out there that's doing that. You know what I'm saying? Go on a trip every now and then, whatever, but they would rather have it where there are two people separate, right? That may be making $60,000, which now let go to go right back into what you're saying. Now it pours that much more money into the system. Not only the system as far as the government, but also into corporate America, into buying goods, into all these companies that are out here. So, like, that's a great point. We have to keep it on the financial side, even though with us as black men and black women, it is very hard to separate, you know what I'm saying, the sexual side and the relational side away from the financial piece.
Because
Pay
going
less
back
in
to what,
taxes when you're married.
go ahead.
You pay less in taxes when you're married. You pay more taxes when you're single.
Your living expenses,
Most
because
definitely.
you only have to pay for one domicile, bills at one place.
There you go.
Place. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is why people don't understand that wealth was based in marriage. Right? Wealth was based from marriage.
Always.
That's why everybody.
That's powerful.
It's crazy how people talk about, want to take it back to the olden days and the feudal systems where families joined to combine wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? To get to a larger step. But again, like I said, you know, y'all want y'all freedom, you know, and y'all being oppressed, and y'all don't want submission and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's whatever.
So going back to what Shan said, and I see you, Ken. I just want to say this. Shan said the perception of we make enough to take care of our families has changed. So either women or just TV makes us feel like we're not making enough. So it pushes us to want to go out and make more instead of going and find a woman and just make enough work for her. Because one, society has taught the woman to say, well, this isn't enough, so I don't want to be with you. Like with the Kevin Samuel stuff, you don't make enough for me to want to actually be with you. So the woman don't want to be with a man because in her mind, the perception of enough isn't enough. So she has to go out and make a certain amount of money. The man has to go out and make a certain amount of money to get the woman. And it's like he's chasing either the woman or the money because the perception of enough isn't enough. But overall, if we all would have stopped chasing the bag per se, you know, there's nothing wrong with chasing the bag, and actually settle down and get married, like Ricky said, one household will literally cause less money to go into the system from a taxation standpoint.
Exactly.
It's all about, again, our value systems are perverted, right? And I'm gonna push back on what you said, Mr. Let Go, because it's a two-sided coin. Niggas do the same shit, right? I gotta wear a certain shirt. And again, like I said,
yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying, right? Today I was on a panel and they was talking about how much what's the baseline a man should earn before he get married. And the question I asked was this. So y'all saying is how much do leadership cost? Right?
That part.
Your ability as a man is not tied into a dollar sign value. You still a leader. You still about your business. You still raise your kids right. You still take care of your woman. Right? Like I said, and the reason why y'all don't understand this, why people, not y'all, but y'all know how I talk, so my apologies. You know, I don't want to offend nobody, right?
Keep going, King. You good.
I'm working on myself, right? So and this is what people don't understand, right? We are stuck in this hamster wheel of validation for money, right? The ladies say, I want a man with a ball, a shot caller, right? But not only that, the dudes that put the emphasis on money, I gotta have these glasses, I gotta have a certain type of shirt, I gotta have my tools right so I can catch that girl eye. And again, because money is so associated, and I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, that money is y'all God. Right? When other people looking at it, this is why y'all always use it. Oh, this celebrity this and Rihanna that and Jay-Z that, and because of their money. It ain't about the decision. Y'all don't know what goes on in them people's lives. Y'all have no singular idea of what those people do. But y'all use that example because they got dough, because that's what y'all worship. That's what y'all take into heart as meaning that's how y'all value yourselves.
Man, Brother Ricky, one of the things, it's so funny you say that today, and I didn't post it yet. I was at the gym, and today while I was at the gym, Rod, I've talked to you about this. But let's look at the words we use. Whatever we spend our time on and whatever we pay attention to are the most valuable things in our lives, man. whatever we spend, and pay are the most valuable things in our lives. Brother Ricky, you on point with that. Because what do we spend the most time doing? And what do we pay the most attention to? And that's the thing that really helps us to feed into this system that we've been talking about all night. Because they know that. So if they know that, they're going to set you up to do that. You're going to spend your time on social media. You're going to pay attention to the sales on Black Friday, and you're going to spend all your money. You see what I'm saying? But
Hey, fellas,
what are your values?
I'm gonna be real transparent right now, y'all. Like just this past July 14th, I shot myself in the calf muscle, right? And me shooting myself in the calf was literally the best thing I probably ever did in my life. Why? Because like Brother Ricky said, money was my God. So much so that I was missing out on the very part of life that I pride myself on, which is fatherhood. So check this out. I'm over here trying to provide a lifestyle that neither one of my kids asked for, don't know nothing about. My wife is just fine with being who she is in my life, where we are. And here I am, killing myself. Literally, y'all. So that morning, check this out. That day I shot myself, I had 2 meetings, a basketball game, and I helped a homie move. I then went home and told myself, oh, I haven't done enough yet. Here we go. I got to get work done. In my haste, let me clean my gun. So here I am in the midst of all this. Take my gun out, let me clean it, and then I'm going to go in the office and work on some more contracts. Pow! The best thing happened. You know why? Because at that time, I could do nothing else but realize what really mattered.
It caused you to sit your ass down somewhere.
Yo, and let me tell you, let go. My little girl showed me that I really wasn't shit. You ready for this? As I was in the bed, my leg in the air, she said, Daddy, let's watch Coco Melon. So I say, sure, come on in the room, let's watch it. Open my laptop, we watch Coco Melon. You know, attention span ain't but so long. We watch about an hour. She walks out of the room. Before she goes out of the room, she goes, yo, Daddy, thank you for really watching it with me. I go, baby girl, I watch it with you all the time. She goes, no, normally you have your cell phone in your hand, you have your laptop. I said to myself, yo, I'm over here chasing $1 and I'm losing my family because of what social media got me thinking.
Let me be real. I almost lost my girl over all this YouTube shit. She over here. I'm like, wait, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I got 2 coaching groups, like literally 2 coaching groups. I'm doing this, doing that. Next thing you know, she over here, and I'm doing all this other shit. And then one time she literally said, like, I really gotta share your attention, don't you? And in my mind, I'm like, yes, that's just the way it is. This is who you with. Like, what are you talking about? You know who you was with before. But at the end of the day, am I gonna make room for her? Or am I just gonna be like, stick her in an aisle and just like a buggy in a row of buggies? No, what the fuck? Yo, let me tell y'all something. I told JR I had some shit to do with my kids, whatever, and I got done. I was like, yo, I want to pull up. I'm so glad I don't came in here. This shit here, yo, King Talk is the shit.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Shut up and share, yo.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. My bags, bro. I was just laughing at Shane.
No, but it's real, man, because what happens is that we get, so this show is airing. People are listening to this. Even all of us are listening to it. But then we're going to go right back into, for lack of a better word, the Matrix. And that never stops. It never stops. So it's always going to be bombarding you every single day. That's why we got to keep feeding our minds. And get this, we talking about relationships. If you are with that woman, Rod, I know, because I talk to you almost every day. The one best thing that is about your wife is that, man, she gives you ideas so that you can actually bring more money into the house, take care of the house better, and take care of you better. But see, we looking at the money, but we ain't looking at the other stuff that that relationship brings to us. That real relationship brings to us. That's why it brings longevity, it brings prosperity, it brings peace. And it ain't like you need her, you should have your own peace, but you know what I'm saying? Encouragement. But we look for all these other things, man. And we think that that piece of paper with them old ass presidents that's dead is the thing that's going to wind up bringing us that peace that we seek. And it's not true.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gail.
No, I was just going to transition because he kind of segued into one of the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that one up
That's
to
a
the
bit.
top and transition to it. But before we do, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor, Teach Hanley again, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. And it's also pinned to the top, I think. The membership pinned to the top. Become a member. That link is pinned to the top of the chat. So click that and go green. We did have a couple super chats that came through real quick. Oh, this is Malevolent Elephant.
Shout out.
To acknowledge Humble Dad is getting married, y'all. So let me go ahead and a round of applause. He did the proposal this weekend. So shout out to you, Humble Dad, for your next chapter of your life, brother. Wishing you guys blessings, man. It's a good thing. Found you a good woman. And it's always a good thing, brother.
Welcome to the best part of life, King.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
So yes, I want to super chat, but I definitely wanted to acknowledge you, Humble Dad. Del Will 499 also member says the less families created, the easier it is to control the population.
Yep.
James Penn, he's supposed to be here tonight, but he has some things to do. 999. What about leftover women who are elevated in the manosphere just because they regurgitate manosphere talking points? They're chameleon, opportunists, deceiving men who are financing their platforms. Sad.
Oh, he coming in here with some fire.
Yo, like James, you gotta
Golly.
be a vet. If you go come with that kind of smoke, you gotta pull up, bro.
Golly. Okay. Sheesh.
Yeah, you really got brother Shan smiling over there.
That's that pretty privilege, bro. That's what it is.
Bravo Tech Twin out says, I walked in the house, turned on King Talk, and looked at Eric Harrison. Like, damn, they got Charles Oakley on the panel. Great conversation, gentlemen.
I said the same thing, bro.
Wow, that's original.
All right, shout out to Eric, aka Charles Oakley. All right, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move on to this topic. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I know Eric was talking about Rob's wife and saying how she brought great things to him, and he's been a witness to that. So my next topic of the night is, how do you know she's the one? I'm going to go ahead and play this clip.
Always gonna be a badder bitch. Always. If you think you got the baddest one, there's always a badder one.
Right.
So if you gonna base every decision you make off of a badder bitch, you never would have anything sustainable in your life. So when I'm young, 19, 18, 17, gathering all this game, and like you said with the best friend thing, like how I knew my wife was the one, bro, because we would sit up, and I'm not talking about on the phone, like we in a parking lot, we chopping, we really cool. Like I had a problem. Everybody my age want to smash, get chicks. I want to get to the money. So for me, I would call a chick, damn, I ain't heard from you in 3 months. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, where you at? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not giving me the energy that I'm looking for because I'm not engaging with them on a regular basis. But how I knew she was the one is because I can literally talk to you.
How do you know that she's the one? I know it's going to be different for different folks, right? Everybody got their own thing, what they look for. But what I have noticed, the older you get, there are just these things that I consider like the base. It's considered like the foundation, like a must have. And I just want to see if we can go around to see if we can identify what those things are. Because some men don't even know what a good woman looks like until you get her. And then you like, damn, like, never seen this shit before. This shit is unheard of. So how do you know she's the one? Let's chime in, fellas.
All right, I go. Y'all ain't said nothing. Try to give y'all 2 seconds. Y'all already know me. I be trying to not talk, but y'all ain't say shit.
Let go. Let's
Y'all
get it.
be
You ain't
quiet.
trying not to talk.
Right. Go on, King.
Jump in. So
Yo, I gave y'all 2 seconds.
I like a half a second. Let go.
So I would say, for me, I need a woman that is able to make adjustments. You get with a woman, she's this, she's that. It's going to be some type of problem that's going to arise, right? Is she going to actually make the adjustment, or she's just going to continue to be defensive and justify her behavior and justify why she's doing whatever she's doing and why she's still going to do it? So that's the first thing. A woman that is open to making adjustments. And then at the same time, some stupid shit that I do. Is the woman open to giving me having the patience for me to make the proper adjustments before she starts spazzing out on me? So I need a woman that is open to making adjustments. And at the same time, I need a woman that is open or patient enough for me to make the proper adjustments before she starts going down a rabbit hole of why I'm this or why I'm that.
For me, the number one thing first was what's her faith like, and then second of all, for me, this is the second go around. I wrote down what it is that I wanted, and for me, I prayed about it, and I didn't think it could happen. I mean, because I have 4 kids. I'm a widower, and I had at the time I had lost my job, and so I'm like, this can't happen. So for me, what I did was write it down, and then I didn't really look for it. And then when I saw it, I knew I needed to act upon it. So some of the things that I look for is, does she provide me peace? Like, for real. I know that's usually a talking point, but for me, like, I wanted somebody that could actually come into my house. I was already having some working on grief and things of that nature, but I wasn't even looking for her. But even though I had wrote it down. So she provided me peace, somebody that's funny, and somebody that would love my kids. So that's how I knew. It's other things too, but that's how I knew that she was the one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not married. I'm divorced. And so when I get married, then I'll let y'all know.
Oh, so you gotta wait till you get married to be.
It don't even make sense.
How would I know if the person is the one if I'm not with the one?
Well, what I'm saying is, okay, so you into real estate, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so are you saying that you buy the house and then figure out if it's the house to buy?
No, I could see the potential in buying the house, but everybody got potential. All houses got potential. Like, it depends on.
But as a person of it that's an investor, you have a criteria in which you go look for that property. You don't just go buy any one of them.
So the difference in, I like that you use the analogy, but the difference is, real estate is what I do. I know what's a good deal. You're not going to scam me at this point in time because I already went through the process. But to go through the process of knowing if this person is the one is if you haven't with if you with this long term. If you with somebody like Ricky, I'm inclined to listen to Ricky. He's married. He's with the one of his life, and he didn't. I thought my ex-wife was the one. I thought that. Right. But you don't know directly until you spending the rest of your life with that person. And right now, that person is on trajectory. And whoever is else married on the panel, I'm inclined to listen to them and take their word for more than anyone else who's not married that's on the panel. Not that if you're not married that you don't have an idea, but the stronger argument is the ones who's married and been through in a long-term relationship, long-term marriage.
For sure. And I don't know if you know, but I was married.
Okay.
My wife passed away. So
so then I will listen. So I didn't know that HD. So right. I'm willing to listen to you. So you already you've been through this and you found the one before. It's just that life circumstances happen outside of, y'all didn't get a divorce like that. You know what I'm saying? It was things out of your control. That's different. So I'm inclined to listen to you. But
So that's
now,
what I'm saying. I knew. So I've had to go through the process twice.
yeah,
What
I
I'm
got
saying.
you.
So I'm saying that when my late wife Jen, I knew that she was the one
I could
because
don't.
we was friends. Like we was friends for a long time, and I could operate however I wanted to operate, and she was still rocking with me. Right. The lady that I'm engaged to now, and like I said, I had a criteria. And so I literally knew what I was going to be looking for because I dated some other chicks and I was like, they just ain't going to be it. And then when I talked to her, the first time we talked, it was like 4 hours.
And
You know
so because you had a criteria, it's like we were saying, you had a criteria. You knew already what worked. I can't tell you what worked because it didn't work for me. You get what I'm trying to say? You've been through it. You know what worked. You know what worked already.
So do you have a criteria that she had? Okay,
yes, of course I have ideas.
So what is the criteria?
Well, you know, change is consistent. You got to be willing to grow. I don't want to be stagnant at all. I know the type of person that I am, that I'm always trying to evolve, and sometimes stagnation, man, also got to learn. I had to learn patience with myself as well, and have patience for others, because sometimes people don't move when you move. So I learned some lessons and things in that criteria, but again, you know, I can't say what's going to work until I get through it. And I would listen to HD and Ricky and whoever else married on the panel.
Yeah, I would say the way you know is based upon like you said, your criteria. For me, she had to have my 6, and not just physically. So the way I knew my wife was the one was she met me on a hard time. Like I had just lost a job. I'm in the streets hustling. I had just tore my knee up. So, you know, I'm not moving around the way I wanted to. So I'm going through it and emotionally and all those things. I only had enough money to pay my rent and pay my car note. Not even no haircut, none of the other stuff. So y'all know what that's like. So one day she was like, yo, come with me to the barbershop. Let's go. You're getting cleaned up. Now, y'all all know in the car, I forgot to get the money. So got the haircut. It's time for to pay that money. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to tell her to give me that bread in the middle of the barbershop. So long story short, the barber, he did the cardinal sin that we didn't want to happen. When she brings the money over to me, he goes, oh, you got it like that. And I'm like, I'm depleted. I felt terrible. So I put my head down, and the first words out of her mouth was, yeah, he got it like that. And instantaneously, she had my back. In that way, I was like, nah, that's it. She's the one. She had my 6 in a way that nobody else would. Somebody else would have shitted on me in public. Oh no, this broke nigga, da 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 da. Nah, she covered me. So in that space, I knew instantaneously that she was going to be the one. It's been 16 years since.
Praise be to Allah. I know that's right, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, go ahead, Ricky. I seen somebody in the chat say they looking for your perspective, man.
I don't know why. No, no, man. I done told y'all this story. She was my friend. We was friends, bro. Right, we was friends. Like I said, with a lot of people, y'all get in these relationships with no intentions to be with that person. It just turned into something, right? No, we would chop it up about everything. She loved me for me. And I love her for her. That's what it's what they call it, perfectly imperfect. We all get stuff. We all get triggers and traumas that we deal with, that we was programmed or we put ourselves through, allow somebody else to put us through. That's you. That's you. A lot of y'all be dating representatives. My girl know me and I know her. I know when it get to around October, right? November-ish, I need to cuddle up on her because the woman that was most important in her life died around that time, her auntie. Right? We know each other. We understand, right? I know what she went through, and I love her. I don't care what people say. With the thing, I love her for what she is and what she isn't. And I feel sorry for y'all that y'all can't get to that.
Go ahead, Ricky.
Yo, I don't know if they caught on to that, Ricky. Loving her for what she's not, bro. That's heavy. Like in the last 15, 16 years of relationship, I had to understand what that really meant, bro. Like loving her in the spaces that she's not, and that's what makes her, and appreciating that. Oh man, that's real love, kid.
Yeah, that's real. That's real right there. Loving her for what she's not.
Mm-hmm.
King Rio, brother, I know you're sucking up all these gems. How do you know she's the one? According to Mr. Ali, he said you got to be married to kind of know that. But I'll go ahead and give it a shot with you and Shan and see what y'all say.
I understand Ali's perspective, and I kind of understand the other brothers too. I think that we don't know anything for certain, right? People change, we change, things change. However, if we have a criteria and she meets that criteria, I think it increases the likelihood of things working out, right? So for me, the top things that kind of come to mind are that we're all going to be flawed. However, the good ultimately outweighs the bad. You know, you can deal with my bag and I can deal with yours, so to speak. She doesn't flee during challenging times because those are going to happen, you know, and, you know, real partnership are going through hard times and celebrating the good times together. So I think that's very, very important as far as I'm concerned. She doesn't dismantle your system. Instead, her care for you allows you to operate better in it, right? Support and things of that nature. You know, we got to make sure that the people that we are with truly believe in our vision and our plan, so that we don't have to defend it later.
How do you do that, King Rio?
You lay it on the table. You know how we always give that ship analogy, Shan. You know what I mean? Like Rick just talked about how he was best friends with his woman, right? And with that comes a lot of conversations of substance. And I think that if you want to essentially fill each other out, I think you have those type of conversations where you get a good understanding of this is where I'm going. Because ultimately you have a plan. We hope this is where I'm going. Do you like where I'm going? And are you going to get on this ship with me? We talk about that all the time, right? Because ultimately you're the one that's driving the boat. You know what I mean? And she got on this ship voluntarily, right? And we talk about how the fact that, yeah, we are going to, you know, go through tumultuous situations, and you got to trust me, and we got to support each other. We got to have each other's backs. So, you know, those types of conversations are very important. If you're not talking about anything, that's a good sign that you're nowhere near where you need to even be considering marriage. Like, how do you not have these discussions? You know what I mean? Are you dating really? Once you get beyond the, oh, this person is beautiful, this person's sexy, or whatever it is. Oh, we have a lot of fun together. Well, you can't have fun every day forever.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Ultimately, we can have fun dates. That's great. But ultimately, this is not what life is going to be every day.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, you got to be willing to be real. Rick talked about this. You have to be willing to be real. And you know, brother just mentioned about the barbershop situation. She proved to him that she had his back, so to speak. You know what I mean? And they were on one accord. And that, listen, it's not a me and a him, it's a us thing. It's us. You know, those are the indications. I think a lot of us try to go into these relationships and then want to hit the marriage and just be separate. How the hell is that going to work? Like, realistically, how is that going to work? Why do you want to do a we thing separately?
Yo, it's in the language though, King. You just said it. I tell all the guys that I coach, right, especially my single guys, you gotta pay attention to the words that the women are using. If they're using what can you do for me type languages, leave them alone. But if it's talking about what can we do together, what can we build, how can I help you build, what can you help me build so we can have something together? If they're using that language, those are more the keepers. You got to pay attention to the language, because most of the time women gonna tell you what they are.
Yeah, big facts.
Let me get Shannon in there. Brother, go ahead and chime in. It's an OG right here, y'all.
You silly JR. Rashawn, you were saying that you weren't married, so you didn't want to give a perspective.
Yeah, I said I'm not married right now. I was married. I'm divorced.
I think that gives you better perspective, personally. This is what I think. And shout out to the married brothers. I've been twice married. But a lot of times marriage can cloud up people's judgment. And it's one of the best perfect examples of cognitive dissonance. Just like smokers that know smoking is bad for them, that they continue to do it. And they talk about everything else around smoking except for the bad things that it's doing to their lungs. A lot of married men are in marriages and they're going to talk about the greatest thing. One of the things I used to say when I was married was, "Hey, Shan, how you like married life?" "Oh, it's better than single life." That was my instant response. "Oh, it's better than single life." Right? Talked about all the great stuff. So when you say, you know what, I'm not married, I'm not really sure, blah, blah. No, don't go there, Rashawn, because and hearing the perspective from somebody who's married could, in their mind, be the reality. But if you were to do a deep dive into that marriage, it may not necessarily be the case. They may be miserable or dying of 1,000 cuts and don't even know it. So I say, how do you know she's the one? That's the question. How do you know she's the one? Two things that all men, in my personal opinion, two things that I think all men should evaluate when it comes to a woman, if you want to know if she's the one. One, did your life get easier as a result of her presence? Did your life, you don't have to be married to know this. And if you're married and you're struggling and you still clapping about marriage, you may want to go get some therapy. Did your life get easier as a result of that woman's presence? Living in your house, dating her, fucking her, going out with her, calling her, spending time with her. Did your life get easier? Not her life, your life. Because typically when we get with women, their lives increase. We already know we make shit easy for them because we're problem solvers. We protect them. We provide for them. And the second thing is, did your life increase as a result of her presence? What I'm talking about is socioeconomic level. We call them help me, right? You need to help me meet my goals. You're my help me. You need to help me meet my my purpose. Are you helping me meet what I'm trying to do? That's why when King Rio was like, "Yo, this is the program. Are you with it or not?" Made me think of Mr. Let Go's bus analogy. I love it. And if her value, the value is what men should use as the barometer to measure a woman's perfection in his life. What value does she bring? Not just the sexual component, not just the trophy wife because she's pretty, not just because she cooks, but if she's cooking and yelling at you, if she keeps the house clean, but she ain't giving you no sex. I mean, it's a lot going on that could, giving and taking. And if you end up taking more, you end up giving more than you're taking. So you need to make sure that any woman you're dating seriously, not just smashing, not the side chicks, not the girls that you just having fun with, but if you're seriously dating somebody and you're considering being with her for the rest of your life, and if you're in a relationship with somebody, there's two things you need to pay attention to. Is your life easier as a result of her being there? And is your life increased? Meaning your comfort level, meaning your bank account, meaning the way that you live, your eating, your health, better as a result of her being there. If any of those is a kind of sorta or a no, then she ain't the one.
Yeah, listen. Go ahead, Shannon.
I need to hit the mute button and let y'all know I'm.
Yeah, what I was saying is to get my perspective on something. The reason why I have that is I do know I have thoughts, but however, I like to take the reason why I take the reserve part from it is because, you know, I look at results. I'm a math person. That's how I think. And I look at results, and I will always take the back seat to married men, even if they going through a struggle at a certain part of time in their marriage, because there's up and down. Like you go through ups and downs in your marriage, like the stock market, like brain waves. To monitor brain waves, the lines go up and down. To monitor a heart rate, the lines go up and down. So that means in life, there's ups and downs in your life. And sometimes, you know, that man or that woman that's working through the problems in a marriage, you know, I tip my hat off to them, and they words are very valuable. I know we can get online, and I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't, you know, from if you spin that diamond at another angle, that, you know, I'm sure what you're saying, it has some truth to it. But I do know, and this is King Talk, we have young boys looking for advice, and they probably leaning, or and men in general, leaning to people who really don't know, and they just need to be careful of talking and trying to get advice from those who not even worthy of getting advice. They might hear, you know, and not even qualified really to give them advice. They should lean and look for somebody who's married, who's taking on, because to take on a family is hard work. That shit ain't easy. It's not easy. Any man that's got a wife or been married and got children, or just got children, you know it ain't easy. And for someone to work through those problems, you know, that means they are problem solvers, right? And then when they hearing, you know, those men are more willing to hold people accountable. You know, you hear a young boy, yeah, man, my baby mother, she wilding, or my girl, she wilding. The first thing you're gonna be like, what's going on? What you do? Right? You like to play devil's advocate because you only hearing one side of the story, so you know how to question them. And 9 times out of 10, he ain't going through nothing that you ain't already been going through. If you've been in a relationship long enough, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. So just be careful. And I just like to take the backseat to those who are married currently at the time. And that's, so I just take that approach. You know what I'm saying? Not saying what you're saying, Shannon, is wrong or anything, but I just like to take the backseat to married men when it comes to questions like that.
Quick question, Ali. You mentioned you've been married before, though, right?
Yeah, I was my ex-wife, we was together for 13 years.
So you were in marriage for 13 years, and I'm sure you know what went right and what went wrong. I'd say that you'd be a credible authority on this topic. Why would you discredit yourself in this conversation?
It's not that I'm discrediting myself. I said I like to take the back seat to those who been where I've been at and stuck through and worked.
You're talking about successful, man.
Yes. That's it. I'm not saying that I said I got thoughts, right? But when I see somebody, I wasn't successful in my marriage.
But Rashawn,
I would take the seat back, right, to someone who is currently successful in their marriage.
But Rashawn, there's something that the guy that's still married doesn't know or understand.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What that part is? Hold on. Do you know that? What is that part?
Like the divorce part?
Divorce. The actual understanding how it feels to grieve a person that's still alive, and then to turn around and still get along with that person that you already grieved. You feel me? So a person that's been divorced actually has more knowledge than a person that's still married, because one, you've been married, you know how that feels. You've gone through the divorce, the court, all this custody and all that other stuff. The married person don't know nothing about that part. And then you back out here being single as a divorcee. So you back out here in the single world with the single people or whatever. That married person don't know nothing about single life to a certain degree. So you actually have more wisdom than the person that's married, because the person that's married is still their wife. Now that's a good thing. That's a success. But us divorced people, we back out here in these streets. The married person don't know what's going on in these streets.
And
So
half of that, hey, we don't know if it's a success. Just because they married don't mean they happy.
That's
the
the point
cognitive dissonance I was talking about.
Yeah,
Yep.
Dr. Jordan Peterson said that and just because someone it's actually by definition is success if someone is together long term. Like it's actually is success. Now they might be going through problems, and we not just that is different, but that doesn't mean that it's not going. Now, mind you, yeah, about divorce, but he asked the question, how do you know she's the one? And but
it goes back to, you don't know what you're either looking for or you're open to identifying.
I know what I'm looking for. Listen.
So then that's how you gonna know she the one.
That's what I'm saying. It's just confusion on how you just like, and I think you're downplaying where you are versus the people that are married. And that's the reason why I said what I said. We divorcees actually have more wisdom than the men that are actually still married, because they don't know what's going on out here versus we do.
Let me say this. I don't think that we have more wisdom because we've been divorced. I think that
we actually do. We got more experience because they never been divorced before.
Y'all have a different experience. Y'all have different experience. Because why?
The divorce part is so important and deep for people who ain't never been married before, because people who ain't never been married before be like, yo, she gonna take half my shit. Yo, this is gonna happen. Yo, this is gonna happen. So a person that's married can only tell that person that's scared of divorce, because a lot of these young men are afraid of divorce. They're not afraid of marriage. So a person that ain't never been divorced before can't really help that person not be afraid of something that they never been through. But that's my divorce was not bad. It wasn't crazy. So I can make a person feel a little bit better about being married, and if there was a divorce, it's not the end of the world.
Can I hold us accountable real quick? Because what just happened? Look what just happened. Look what just happened now. And I strongly disagree, Mr. Let Go, on this one. I was going to let it, but I can't. We get on women for listening to their friends who can't keep a man. Listen. We were immediately
not keeping a man versus being divorced is different.
Wait, that's not keeping a man.
A woman versus a woman that can't keep no man is different.
Can I finish? A woman that's divorced, and then we say, "Oh, this woman is bitter. She's telling these young girls out here not to, watch these men." I hear it all the time. I don't want to put people out there, but some women who I done dealt with who got a mom who been divorced or her aunt been divorced, telling her just worry about getting your bag, the whole 9 yards. You hear men running around saying, "You listen, she got a divorce. How can she tell you anything? She can't even keep her husband." And then now at the same sentence, we come live on YouTube after condemning women for listening to women who can't keep a man, and then we say that that the person who can't keep a woman, and I'm submitting to that, right? Who couldn't keep a woman or couldn't keep a wife, it has more wisdom than a person who's can keep a wife. That doesn't
that don't make any sense.
Who wants to debunk what he just said? Because I can kill it.
Yeah, hold on, y'all. Let me get Eric in here because I know Eric been quiet. Go ahead.
So Dr. HD, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm wondering if I'm thinking the same thing you thinking. Y'all just talking about divorced and married. You ain't even talk about his situation where his wife passed away.
Which is the best one of all.
That's another
way. You
way.
understand what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Let's.
For the people who don't have wives are the most
wise people. The whole time, Mr. Lego, let Eric go real quick.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? I because as I was hearing that, you know what I mean? I think we need to take in all the nuances that are attached to relationships. And we got to look at, because it's so multifaceted. and there's so many things that could come from it. And Brother Rashawn, I hear what you're saying, because when you experience divorce, and I've experienced divorce. I'm divorced. I was in a 21-year marriage and got divorced. So I definitely feel that. And actually, I understand what you're saying, because I look at the cues and the different things where it worked. And then, Brother Shannon, the one thing you said that those people could be dying a death from
Inside.
1,000 cuts.
That's
But
a
what about
fact.
the people who healed from the 1,000 cuts?
That's
Yes.
See, we never talked about that side of it,
Yes.
Good stuff.
because there are some
It's
people that
always
actually
wrapped into the negative.
healed from, and they may have felt like they were dying, but they actually healed. Yes, there is cognitive dissonance, but there are actually people who healed from that and recovered. And they weren't just being together just because it was the cool thing to be together, but they actually worked through that thing. And there are, I don't know how many instances. Some people say there may not be many, but there are instances of that. So go ahead, Dr. HD.
And Dr. and HD, his
Yeah.
wife passed away. He, by virtue, according to the vows, he was successful because it says to death do his part. He didn't move on while she was alive. A situation happened.
Facts.
A situation, he don't have no control of that. And then now he did his end of the bargain compared to the vows. And and then he moved on, and he know what worked for him, and he know what worked for him. He know what made him successful. So he's just taking the same, you know what? Why do extra stuff? Because he went back out into the dating field, and look, bro, you got engaged, right? Bro's engaged. And so, you know, I'm not taking Shannon, I said that that's a different angle that you look. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I said that I like to humble myself when it comes to I look at it like this. When successful people are talking and I haven't reached their status yet, I like to take a seat back and say, let the successful people talk. There's no need for me to say any goddamn thing.
Well, Rashawn,
that makes sense to
go ahead.
I wanted to say just because hold on real quick.
Hold on, Rio. Let HD go, then we go to you, Rio.
I'll be quick. You know, I don't want to make it about a battle between who is more experienced than the next, because all of us have a perspective that could help the person that is married or is looking to be married again. So I don't want to wage that war against anyone, because in my scenario, I had to move through grief, right, to be able to say, okay, I'm willing to bring another woman into my house with my kids, right? So that's a perspective that I could bring and give, right? And so I'm saying that to you, Rashawn, is that your perspective, I get that you want to fall back, but there is someone that has a similar situation as to you that you can say, you know what, in my situation, I would say that I failed, but I can look back upon what it is that I didn't do effectively, or I saw that she didn't do something effectively that could help the next person, for me to be able to say, I know that she's the one, because my prior marriage was unsuccessful, whether it was with you or whether it was her. I saw what it was. And so because of that, this is what I want to give to you all, right? That's the perspective that I was trying to give to you.
And real quick, let me clear something up for you, real quick, Rashawn. The second week I had to do this, Rashawn. I don't normally have to do this for you. You're conflating something. You're talking about, you say, I have to do it. I have to come and say it. How are we going to come out and say?
He does this every damn time. I'd be like, bro,
how are we going to come out and say that women, that we shouldn't listen to women who can't keep a man? There is nobody in the manosphere. There's no men out there talking about women who are divorced. In fact, we don't even consider baby mamas to be baby mamas if they were married prior and got a divorce. They're just single mothers, or they're women who were previously married with children. They don't even get the baby mama title. So to say that we're out there saying women shouldn't listen to divorced women, oftentimes we want them to listen to divorced women because sometimes, and more often than not, those women will help the younger women become better, as opposed to that auntie that never got married. We're talking about the woman who went through her 20s, her hot girl summer 20s, her fast ass 30s, fucking smashed everybody, couldn't keep a man, got a man, know how to get one. Women know how to get a man, but couldn't keep one to even ask him to take her all the way to the altar. That's the woman that we talking about. We're not talking about women who successfully got a man and had a man propose to her and keep the proposal all the way through and jump the broom, and then things just didn't work out for whatever reason. Don't listen to her. Nobody's ever said that.
73% of the time she divorced him, Shannon. Chill. You want
I understand that. You're talking about
One at a time, family. One at a time.
Rashawn, you're talking about a statistic that does not apply to what I'm talking about. I know that stat very well.
I got
so what I'm simply saying is, when we say to people, do not listen to that motherfucker that's out there that can't keep a man, we're not talking about the woman who got a divorce for whatever reason. We're talking about the people, generally speaking, we're talking about the ones who never got married, who never made it that far, who has 3-4 baby daddies, and none of them asked to marry her. That's who we're talking about. You probably don't want to listen to her advice. You probably don't want her advice. But the woman that got married, had a successful marriage for a certain amount of time, things may have fallen apart, they fell out of love, whatever the fuck the reason is, and they got a divorce. Ain't nobody knocking those women. Ain't nobody knocking those men, typically. So I just want to clear you up with, why we on here talking about don't listen to the women that are previously married. Ain't nobody ever said that. Not nobody that I've not the red pill community ain't saying that. No community is saying
that language. But Shannon, what we say is, why are you listening to women that can't keep a man? We don't say that.
That's not what we talk. He just explained why we're not talking about that. Now we got to go down another rabbit hole that we just came out of.
Hold up, Mr. Lego.
Hold on.
Come on, man.
What people do, what they poop, right? But what they do again, it's they always want to go to the negative example like Shan did. Let's be factual. Maybe it's this, it could be, right? But the same way you can say that, I keep telling y'all, there's hundreds of thousands of successful relationships out there.
Millions. Not hundreds of thousands. Millions. Right.
But again, mindsets always want to set over to the negative. Like people are like the door work both ways, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what Shannon says, right? If this is what's happening, that person leaving because they're not leaving because they don't want to.
And one of the things I said, Rashawn, hold on, I need to say this because Rashawn is a friend of mine. I have a problem with you because you keep doing this shit instead of actually utilizing the platform to instruct, somebody in the audience. You want to find some angle to either be different than everybody or start an argument in some type of coverted way. And the shit is annoying. So I'm not saying this to just say some stuff, but you keep doing this shit. What needs to be done in this particular situation, and every time we're up here, is to make sure that you use your specific perspective, your specific experience, and you share it instead of holding it back so you sound cool or so you sound this and that, because somebody in the audience needs to hear from you, not somebody that's been married. No, you. Because each one of us are different people with different perspectives. So for you to turn around and say, well, I'm not going to say this, I'm not going to say that, you are actually doing a disservice to the audience. Because like I said before, two things. One, I started off when we started talking about divorce a second ago, I started off by saying my divorce was positive. I didn't have a bad divorce. I didn't have a terrible divorce. Me and my ex-wife were still messing with each other after we split up. We had somewhat of a positive, amicable divorce. So when you turn around and look at a person, like I said, these young men are not afraid of marriage. They're afraid of divorce. So when it comes to talking to somebody that, or hearing from somebody that did not have a terrible, disgusting experience in a divorce, it may make that person say, oh, okay, I might be open to getting married, because this is one of the first situations that I've ever heard of that a man didn't get toe up in a court, or a judge didn't make him do A, B, and C. Judge didn't make me do a goddamn thing. I was a fucking judge. So that's the thing that's important for you, Rashawn, and everybody else up here, but everybody else did except for you, to share your personal experience so people in the audience can see you versus us and say, wow, I relate with Rashawn versus the other guys. But if you don't share it, they can't fucking relate.
All right, so
just to be clear, I said that a few moments ago, Rashawn. I just said a lot politer. That's
word. You gotta let go hot, Rashawn.
No, man, he doing this dumb shit, man. Come on, man.
Two things quickly. First of all, when he's talking about he had a positive divorce, he sound like Tia Marie. Talk about I didn't break out. We graduated. That's first of all. Stop the cap, bro. You got kicked out of school like the rest of us. So knock it off, bro. SATs, you didn't go to class. You failed gym. God damn it. You failed. You didn't graduate because you failed gym. So stop the shenanigans here. You see, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. See, this is pure shenanigans. And then second of all, I am trying to show an example to those who are watching by saying this, bro. When you looking for a woman, or if you got a woman and you're trying to keep that woman, listen to those married men who's successful and actually listen to them and figure out exactly what is the key components. Now, you're going to tweak how you want to tweak it based upon your personality, but you get to tweak, but the principles, you should listen to those married men or women that are successful in their marriage. Don't be running around you trying to keep a woman and trying to, you want a successful marriage, but you're gonna listen to niggas that's divorced. No, that's not how that works. No, now when a divorced person go get a wife and then he starts the process all over again, because we got a divorce, we quit the process. When we start the process all over again, then now we able to share, listen, I'm married now, I got a wife, I'm doing X, Y, Z, and I've been divorced. I know how I feel. Now we able to drop the wisdom. It's timing. I just got patience, and I'm willing to again sit and listen to successful people. That's it. And y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. I didn't say my piece.
Ali, can you put this in a little more context? If you don't mind sharing, you say you failed gym.
Rio, only for you, King Rio.
I appreciate that. You say you failed.
We all coming for you tonight, Rashawn.
You say you failed.
You gonna get this hazy. You gonna get this hazy.
So if we just put that in perspective and we think about the reason why you're divorced is because of a failure has taken place, would you say that you failed her or you failed each other? And that was the result of the divorce.
And were you the judge in your divorce like I was a judge in my divorce?
Bro, I failed.
You failed. So I appreciate you taking accountability for that, because that puts it in context. That's the reason why you feel that way. Ultimately,
I was the leader, right? Shit, when it was going good, I got the credit. The shit went bad, I gotta take it too. There you go.
Ali, you don't have to take it. You're not married anymore. I'm asking you to be transparent. Did the marriage fail?
Yeah, be transparent, bro.
No, yes, it's the marriage fell. I made mistakes, and I was the leader. I got to take it. And this is my children's mother. So regardless of the fact, you got to realize. Let me just make this perfectly clear. Publicly, especially publicly, I'm gonna always defend my children's mother. I don't run and put no dirty laundry out for the public. Let's just make this perfectly clear here. For the most part, at the end of the day,
We talking about your dirty laundry, not hers.
no, that's no. He was trying to see if it was solely me, or he wanted me to say it's both of us. I'm just saying because I'm the leader, bro. I take the bulk of it. Everybody, there is enough fingers to point around on both ends, but I take it on the chin. Bro.
Say no more. Say no more. So with that being said, let's say you failed her, right? If we take it that direction, and she was an amazing woman, you still didn't pick wrong. She may have, but you didn't pick wrong. If you say that you failed her and she was an amazing woman, you didn't pick wrong, so you still have something to contribute.
That's yeah, you're right, Rio. I got you. I fucked up.
That's all I was saying. Your ability to keep her has nothing to do with how do you know she's the one.
So I dropped the bag, right, Rio?
That's all. You
Nah, what they're saying is that you got way more input than
I know, but I submitted that. Hold on, right. I started off.
Calm down.
I started off by saying when Shannon said what he said, I submitted and said I'm not saying that I don't have information.
Yes, you did. You literally said I don't have information.
I never said that.
You literally said that.
No, I said I'd rather take a sit back when there's,
which is the same thing you just said.
Dr. HD, you got what's your name, Rod? Here, listen. If you got Rod on here, you got people who are been in long-term relationships and marriages right on the panel.
But Rashawn, that doesn't mean that.
Y'all got it. Y'all got it, bro.
Point,
Rashawn, this is an intervention, bro.
You're gonna have to be
intervention,
like,
okay? We need to talk to you, Rashawn. Like, stop this bullshit. Go ahead, HD.
And what's crazy is, Rashawn, you gave a criteria, and then you say you don't gonna know when if she the one. But then you just talked about who you would pick.
Exactly.
I'm on your side, my brother. I'm on your team, bro. I got you.
No, I ain't on your side.
Do not side with him.
We gotta move on.
Yo, when is DC so we can get our intervention there, bro?
No, this is the intervention right here.
So
before on this for 15 minutes, Mr. Let it go.
Yeah. Before we move on, real quick. So let's establish this though. One thread that we all agreed upon is purpose. That purpose has to be present for the one so that you know she is the one. Because if you do have a purpose, she attaches herself to it and helps to promote that purpose. Now, can I get a head nod on all that? Can we at least leave on one accord?
Yes,
That's all I wanted to say.
Yes, sir. When
They said we moving on, Rashawn.
When Charles Oakley say move on, brother, y'all know, we better move on. All right. You see how he did the everybody when he was on the Knicks, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna just chime in real quick before we move on. I think Shan hit it on the money, man. Like a lot of times when you be dealing with certain women, it's always about them. It's always me. But on very few rare occasions, you have a woman ask, how can I assist in your life? Like, where do you need me at? And I think that those are one of the good indications that you might have a great one, like right in front of you. I talk to a lot of women. It's always, what are you doing for me? Well, I need this. I need that. When you have that one woman, then there's not a lot of them out there, but that kind of strikes an interest. What is it that I can do to help you grow? Or she may say, there are some things that I can do for you that will help you elevate. I mean, you can't really argue against that.
That's how you know what, JR?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But then also too, I think you do have to give yourself some credit because you went through an experience, and so whatever that experience may be, we don't know. I mean, that's your personal business. But if there were some things that you didn't like or you wasn't too fond of or you wasn't keen on in the beginning, that's some insight. So when you are back there on the market, you're out there dating, I'm pretty sure that if you notice some things that you didn't like in the marriage, then you're going to stay away from them. So I always think that every experience does bring something, like that it does bring some value, whether it's a lesson, whether it's it is always something, because everybody always think negative. Every time something happens, the first thing somebody do is think it's negative. I understand if it catch you off guard, you got to pick yourself up a little bit, but always take a moment to see if there's some value in that lesson, and then see how you can apply it to your life, or either let some people know. So,
thank you, brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Right.
Please note that a successful divorce always ends with a divorce party.
I went to the strip club with my homeboys.
Yeah.
That shit was lit.
Yo, Lego, you healed in a strip club?
Hell yeah. That shit was better than my bachelor party.
All right, Ray, you got a super chat, Ray.
He thought he found the love of life.
Get the super chat so we can move on, y'all. Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I mean, what's good? He said, common understanding of goals and putting the work in to have a good life, to having a good life. My apologies. And a woman who believed that marriage is for the entirety of life. No 1 foot out, all in. Dub Will, he said, Rashawn, why are you fronting? You know, mommy 3, you're 1. Amen again. Thanks, bro. He said, God gave mankind enough mercy for the span of our lives to mess up and make mistakes and figure all of it out. That's the least we should do when we choose to marry. Just a perspective. Well, thank you for your perspective. Julius Germain, listen to the failures. Make sense. Ray Alexander said, yes, married men are more successful than single men, and on average, married men are healthier, wealthier, and live longer. Heuristics, Men's Health. The real Pookie, stop the cap. Y'all always bringing up the overwhelming majority of women who filed for divorce.
It's not a super chat, but I just wanted to highlight it.
The Raging Tomato, hello chat. First time listening here. Very well spoken panel. The real Pookie again. Amicable divorce still equals a broken home.
All right, that's all the super chats. Appreciate everybody that has supported the platform. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And again, shout out to the sponsor, Teach Hanley. See, the chat is going crazy. People in the chat, make sure you guys hit the like button. If you are not in the chat, hit the like button. Also, subscribe. Moving on to our next topic of the night, which is men date who they need when they're down, and they date who they want when they're up. It's not open for discussion today, so don't start. This is what this person said. That's going to be our topic. You guys think that's a true statement?
Hold on, can you? I missed that.
Okay, I'm gonna put it at the bottom right here for
Okay.
us.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Right. Men date who they need when they're down, and they date who they want when they're up.
That's a fact.
Don't everybody?
I always said if I ever wake up under a bridge with no license and no social security card, don't know where I'm at, cold, I'm gonna find a way to get a hold of $30 by asking for it, doing whatever it is I need to do. I'm gonna go to a Walmart and get 2 pairs of $10 Wrangler pants, go to the back, get some $10 boots, get me a $1 sandwich from somewhere, and I'm going to walk to the closest projects and find a fat woman sitting on a porch, and I'm going to walk by her until I get her attention.
Oh, really?
I'm going to start dating her, and in another, I will say 2 weeks, I'm going to be living in her house and eating her food.
What?
And she's going to help me get my social security card and get my driver's license, and so I can get my life back.
Sound like you done thought this through, bro.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yo,
So you gotta look like a working man. So you got to get you some boots. You know what I'm saying? It's on little Wrangler pants. You know what I mean? A little $10 shirts from Walmart, and walk through the projects. You already know when them fat shit's gonna be sitting on the porch. Walk past about about 3 different days or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She's like, oh man, he must be coming. I wonder where he works at. You know what I'm saying? And then you just walk up to it. Hey, I see you sitting on the porch all the time. You know what I'm saying? You got a man, and then boom, you got somebody to help you.
You gonna tell her you do construction with those Walmart boots?
Yep, exactly. She gonna get my life back together.
Those mountaineer boots.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo.
Some lugs. Remember the lugs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's old school shit.
They got to be steel toe boots though. You got to get the steel toe boots.
Right. That's steel toe. You're not working nowhere.
Not the Birdman boots. Hey yo.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and get through
Hey,
this.
why would you ever date somebody that you didn't necessarily need? Like if you're trying to be married, like
we ain't always trying to be married though.
Well, that's what it's talking about. That's not what it's talking about? Oh, it said men dating.
Men date what they need when they're down. So sometimes when we down, we just date who we need. You know what I'm saying? That's the fat girl sitting on the porch. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
She'll get you right.
I'm
not co-signing that one.
Yeah, I'm not co-signing that, y'all. Hey yo.
You a Pookie low key, bro.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's what it is.
Low key, you a
I've been
Pookie.
hard digging bubble gum. That's how he did it.
That's why he be going so hard. He be going so hard on himself. He be trying to wing that little Pookie side out of him.
I'm a worst case scenario Pookie. I'll be a Pookie if I wake up and my life is trash.
Oh man, it's in your blood, dog. It's cool.
He from Philly.
No, I think like it don't make no sense because if she was with me when I was down, she's gonna be with me when I'm up.
That's a fact.
Go ahead.
I just said the same thing earlier, yo. Like,
but you gotta
my
get her
wife, she was
first.
there when I was down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey,
I'm still with her. I'm back up. You dig what
Hold
I'm
on,
saying?
Rob. I know it's your first time, but Ricky does like a pause, so you gotta let him finish.
My bad, Ricky.
Yeah. So I mean, just kind of pay attention to his mic when he mute. Then you'll have an indication that he's finished. I mean, it happens to everybody, man. So I know you and Eric have
Yeah, you ain't like you got leeway as long as you the new guy, but when you ain't the new guy no more, you know what it is, right?
Yeah,
but,
he got me one time. I remember that.
Yeah, but no, man, I just think again, that tells, like I said, a woman that make that statement would help me to understand. You know, she lives in a temporary mindset. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I keep talking about. Like, if you with somebody and y'all sharing each other's body and experiences, bro, y'all should be vetting these people on the long term. Right? Why are y'all why are you even dealing with a man that would say, okay, I'm just dating you because this where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, once I come up, or, you know, if you don't fit this mold or what I'm looking to, we can't grow together. I am what I am. And that's what it is. Why would you date that person? Right? Because y'all say y'all want families and y'all say y'all want marriages, but I say it all the time. Y'all some liars, bro. Y'all liars. Right? Because y'all thought because this the thing, right? Y'all say one thing, right? Y'all say one thing out y'all mouth, but y'all thought processes and y'all actions don't even match it. Right? When you go back into the hamster wheel of your life, you get back to exactly what you're comfortable doing. The things you want to do. Right? So again, what you saying you want a girl that's for you. You saying you want a man that's for you, right? Why don't you just try your best as picking that person at the first time? Why don't you just try your best, or the second time, or before you get all this other shit on you, right? That make you what they call the ladies, throwaway ladies, right? Right? Because even the government know after a certain amount of years and a certain amount of time of going through shit, right? You ain't no good to nobody. But I digress.
That's what I was saying. Like, why would you need somebody at one point and then later say, well, I don't need you or want you anymore. I got to go find somebody different. Why would you want to put yourself in that predicament? You should, like Ricky's saying, you should have the mindset to be intentional about what it is that you want later and find that person now. Like, I'm not under the guise of what most dudes say, on these YouTube streets, that, dude, you got to get out of your bag first and then find the woman. When in actuality, you can build together, right? Because it's going to be a different type of woman, 100%. It's going to be a different type of woman when you had a bag that you have access to. Now she's with you. How you know she's not with you for your money? That's going to be some interesting type of vetting, because the woman that's with you, I guess at your lowest point, or the woman that's with you when you're about to come up, that's the woman that you need, because she sees something, and she's willing to get on your the same page with you. Then that means she's saying that I see what it is in you that you're going to be later. So she's there with you, oftentimes than not, that I would say. So I would say you should get with somebody that you need always, not just because you got the bag now.
And I would say that whole need thing, I'm a little leery about that. Like, I don't think that no one should need anyone. Like, I believe you should be wanted. Like, I met my wife, she didn't need me, and that's what turned me on most about her. Like, that need factor for me is kind of scary.
I'm real leery when, respectfully, sisters, like, when y'all think y'all know men. Like, how do you know? Are you mad that somebody used you? You allow a man to use you, and he never really, and you didn't vet properly, and he used you. He got on his feet, and he slid. Like, I just want to know, where did this come from? Did her dad tell her that? Did her uncle tell her that? Like, I just want to know where that come from.
I'm not sure, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, my bad. I'll just, because sometimes, I think Shannon, we allude to her earlier, but it wasn't in that case, but we allude to it earlier. Men don't normally ain't leaving the woman that was with him shooting in the gym like that. Like, that ain't the normal. Like, yes, you got some men that go out here and do that, but that's not the norm. And I don't like that we take the exceptions or the minority and try to make that the majority. Like, sis, you got dealt a bad hand, but that's not the majority. And especially when we say, and especially if you're married, saying that it's not majority of men that's going for the divorce first. It's the women that does. So this whole ordeal, I don't know what people be coming up with. Sometimes I think people just be saying anything to get online, and they just looking to hit the shade room, bro. I that's what it is, because I don't know nothing about what your sister was saying.
Say, RJD, I have a question. You said that you don't like the word need.
Yes, sir.
Right. So you would rather, you say that you'd rather say that she wants you. So are you saying that y'all are two independent people in a marriage?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Uh-oh.
So y'all not interdependent. So is what you're saying.
Uh-oh.
When you say that, explain that for me right quick. When you say interdependent, what do you mean?
That y'all work together to get to
Absolutely.
somewhere. So that means that y'all need each other. Would you consider to say that you all are a team?
Yes, absolutely.
And you're the captain of the team?
Correct.
Y'all need each other.
Well, for the sake of the team, yes, we do need each other for the sake of the team. But as per me, being me as an individual, as a man, I don't need her to be a man. She doesn't need me to be a woman. That's
what you need her to be a woman.
Yeah,
that means you need something. What?
Yeah, you need her to be a woman.
To be a woman.
That's your need, and she needs you to be her man.
Right.
Y'all are taking this. I guess y'all taking this differently. What I'm saying is,
no. This is just simple common sense.
Let him finish real quick, Mr. Lego.
Yeah, because like you're Lego, you know me. I'm not one for it. So check this. Me personally, I don't need my wife to be a man, right? Like if she walked out of here today, I still be a man. Like her being what?
But who said that?
So
Nobody
you
all right, so Dr. HD, because I'm not gonna deal with him right now. Dr. HD, me personally, like I said, I don't need my wife to make me a man. Like I need her, yes, in the team of my family, in the building of my family, yes. But as for her, me being a man, I don't need my wife to be a man. No.
Right. So the statement is not to need her. It's not about you being a man and her being a woman. It's about that you all need each other for you to have a successful marriage. Like if you just wanted her, right, then you can want any woman. You can want any woman, but you needed her because of the things that she did for you. Specifically, you gave the account in which you saw that you needed her to pay for your haircut.
Yeah, you couldn't even get haircuts.
You needed her. That didn't change that you wasn't no man.
Why are people so afraid to need each other? This shit is so fucking weird.
I don't understand, because my thought process is if she wasn't there, I would just have to wait to get the haircut. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the need for me is I just need her to build my family with. I don't need her to validate me as a man. I don't need to be validated as a man. That's my thing. I don't need to be validated as a man. That's all I'm saying.
That's cool, but that's not what the response was talking about. But did you just say that you need her for what? What did you say?
To build my family, absolutely.
So therefore, you need her.
Correct. In that aspect, absolutely. No question about that.
So that's what's being stated. That men need to date. What it said, men date who they need when they're down. It doesn't change that they're not men, right? It's saying that the reason why I date you is because I need you now. Of whatever the circumstances are, you are needed in my life now. And so at that time, you was down and busted, as you said, and you needed a woman that would say, you know what, I'm going to encourage you and I'm going to be here with you because I see the work that you have going forward.
She pulled over and said, we going in here.
Absolutely. She's the one that you wouldn't even want to go get your haircut if it wasn't for her, according to your story. So you needed her to even encourage you to get to the point of where it is that you are now. So I'm saying to you, I'm saying through you to other dudes to stop saying you don't need women, right? Because you need a woman to help you become like what's the point of you even being a man? Your whole purpose is to provide and to protect for a family. That's your purpose. So you can't even be an actual man without doing that.
Exactly. I'm not taking nothing away from that. Only thing I am saying is the validation part. Like I deal with a lot of
At the end of the day, I'm with that.
Sir?
I said, in other words, he's saying at the end of the day.
That's right. That's how we talk. You leave us alone, man. Leave us alone.
I'm from New York, so you know.
Yes,
like,
we from up north, and we say at the end of the day. So they be getting on me about it all the time.
I get it. I can dig it.
Welcome to the club, bro.
Hey, I can dig it. I can dig it. But
go ahead, finish it up.
I'm not pushing back on none of that, because the way you break that down, absolutely. And to the young men out there, absolutely. But from where I come from with it, the young men needing validation through women and trying to find themselves that way, I don't promote that. Like that's the part I was saying that the whole need part. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes, you don't need a woman to say that you're a man.
Absolutely. That's the only thing I'm saying.
Right. And I was just addressing the statement that is saying that men date like what they need at the point in time that they're looking for somebody, when you do need a woman to actually build a legacy and build a family. And you need to figure out which one that is. So absolutely. you need the right one, right? Especially when we talk about divorce rate being as high as it is.
And I don't, in my personal opinion, I want my woman to need me.
Oh yeah.
I need my woman to need me.
You see what I'm saying? That's a must. You see what I'm saying?
What's the point of us being there? Oh shit.
Because it's not wrong with need. Listen, in order for you've been in the success, y'all been together for 16 years. So you needed her to do the things she did in order for you to be able to move smoothly with her through the 16 years. Not move smoothly, but to be together for 16 years. Because if she didn't do certain things for
no,
you know.
You know what? As to your, I'm glad y'all saying this, but to Shannon, to your point earlier, this what y'all hearing is my trauma. You dig what I'm saying? Before my wife, I was in experiences where I was needed, and that didn't feel good. Like it was needed. Every moment of the day, I'm depending on. Like needed for me is scary. From what I've been through, the word need is scary. So that's why I shy away from it so when I hear it so much, especially in this light. That's just where I'm from with it.
But just remember this, and this is for the audience also. When you're dealing with some type of trauma, the worst thing you can do is shy away from it. You got to go toward it. You got to, whether it's therapy or something, talk about it or whatever, away from whatever scares you or whatever the trauma is. You feel me? Like right now, you're shying away from it by laughing. Like this is real shit, bro.
I'm not laughing at you. Like, these dudes in the background are hilarious in the chat.
I got the chat off. I got the chat off. How you watching the chat?
Hold on, Rod. We don't look at the chat.
HD brought something in our private chat. I just brought it.
Okay.
Hold on. Rod. The thing about it is we got to stop all this laughing shit like little girls and shit. Like we have an audience. This is King Talk. Grown ass men sitting around giggling like little children.
Yo, hold on, let go. I'm not him, my nigga. First of all, you're not calling me a woman, my nigga. We're not doing this.
Bro, let him go on.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
So
hold on, Mr. Lego.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on, y'all. Let's go ahead and reset. Hold on. Like I want to go ahead and tell a story, man, because I think we was really on to something as far as what we was talking about here. And it's gonna be a learning lesson for anybody that's watching, because I was one of those people like you, Rob, where I didn't know how to take help. And so one of the examples that I can give you is that we had a live show in Houston and we had a live show in Atlanta. And I just refused to take the help that people was trying to offer me. And the people that attended may not have seen the flaws, but there was a lot of flaws because I just refused to take the damn help. And I guess it's the ego that we always speak about. And so when I allowed somebody to help me with certain things, I still couldn't fully release. But when I helped them, I did see the benefit of it. It was a huge benefit, but it's just like I just don't want to feel like I have to depend on anybody, that somebody's doing something for me, because you still always got to watch the help. But to fully trust somebody with that help, it was a big thing for me because I was so used to doing things on my own all the time. And it's like it's something that's inside of you that's kind of like battling, that's saying, don't take it, to like run away from it. So I'm like having a tough conversations. This past year, I've had some people tell me some things about myself that I never even really considered. Like I didn't want to hear this shit. One of the things I preach about now, the importance about having great communication, is actually right in it, in that moment. You cannot run away from it, because a lot of women and men, when they get those triggers, they just want to run away from it. They want to start deflecting. They want to start picking up their phone. They want to start doing everything else but just fully listening and accepting the data that's coming at them right there. It's like they're just trying to knock it away. They're just trying to get far away from it. So like what you just did right now, I want to commend you. I want to salute you for that, because one of the things I like about King Talk and having these discussions is actually hearing. You know, you got to be able to listen, because you never know what can help you in the long run. And I do think with this conversation, you're going to walk away and you're going to be better than what you were, based off of this. So I just want to just keep that energy right there. Salute to you for being able to receive the information. And we all fucked up sometimes. I mean, in certain ways, we just fucked up, and we got to learn about ourselves. We don't know everything. And even as an adult, we could be fucking 60 years old and realize the pain we was causing people. Like, I think I was actually telling somebody that I didn't even realize how much as men, when we going around fucking these women, how much damage we doing to them.
Like we don't even realize. Like I think it took me. We talked about it a few times on King Talk. I'm like, shit, fuck. Am I part of the problem?
Took you a couple months ago.
Like, am I part of the problem? Where because you never consider what you're doing out there, and we always talk about this community, right? We always talk about building a community, how to make it better. It starts with yourself. You got to be responsible for yourself. Then you got to be responsible for your household. If you get your household, if you get yourself in order first, and then get your household in order, that's when the change starts. Because then when your kids get older, they're going to be better kids, and they're going to help contribute to that community.
So, JR, what episode was that?
Whatever. There's plenty of episodes. I mean, like when we sit up on,
y'all ganged up on me one time. Not you.
Oh,
but shout out to my boy Quest. He was there. He was there that day when I was saying that we got to hold ourselves accountable. Yes, they are choosing and letting us, but we supposed to be the leaders. We got to hold ourselves accountable. We know damn well they lying when they say that they can have sex with you and just be and be cool and with no commitment, no hope. We know they lying. We know it. And just because we open and honest from the beginning, yeah, I don't want nothing with you the whole 9 yards, you know, and you can tell that truth, you know, and she already know you don't have no expectations in being with her. You know, you still helping destroying her. You know,
Rod, I just want to say this. One, I want to apologize to you. I don't want to make you feel disrespected when I said y'all was giggling or whatever. Because one, you're new up here, so you don't know how we do. So because of that, I want to apologize to you. I wasn't meaning to disrespect you or whatever, but I was just letting you know that when you're dealing with trauma and you actually are aware of your, traumatic reactions or your trauma responses, that's what they call it. The worst thing you can do is dismiss it or, pull away from it. You got to go towards it because you're now aware that there's a problem. It's like if something happens with your car and something's smoking, when the shit starts smoking, you might hear a noise and ignore it. But when the shit starts smoking, you got to address that shit right then and there. So when there's a trauma response, something's smoking, and too many people just keep going while the shit is smoking, and next thing you know, your whole engine, mess up. You know what I'm saying? So you and Rashawn, y'all was looking at the chat, and we don't really do that. And Rashawn just has he just get to laughing and shit. And next thing you know, you laughing. So I was like, because you got to remember, just for me, I'm always going to consider the audience because this is King Talk. And we have to represent ourselves as men and not just be sitting around laughing and shit, especially when we talk about serious shit. You know what I'm saying? So fuck the chat. Stop worrying about what the fuck people in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to be the representatives of the chat. Because people in the chat going to say goofy shit. But we are the representatives of King Talk to a certain degree. So we can't be running around just, you know what I'm saying? We got to represent ourselves the best way. But I do apologize.
It means I have to apologize too. Because it was about what I put in the back chat.
Yeah,
Mr. Let Go. And I guess it was just
they're talking about the back chat, not the main chat. I thought they were talking
about the back chat, what I said.
That's the amazing ability not to just Mr. Let Go. I have to commend you on your ability to not hear certain things. It's amazing.
All right, so
it was a private chat, but Let Go.
It was still the giggling, and I wanted to apologize for saying y'all were giggling like little girls. That's the reason why I said that. I want to apologize.
Yeah,
I don't accept your goddamn apology.
Hold on. Go ahead, Rob.
I just want to say, because I'm big on respect. You dig what I'm saying? Like I don't call nobody out in their name because I really get it in. You dig what I'm saying? So I give everybody utmost respect because it's always up with me. You dig what I'm saying? As a man, so the whole situation is bridge under the water. But as per kings, I'm a king at all time of the day. So if I'm laughing, I'm still a king. If I'm serious, I'm still a king. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm still in my kingship. So I don't I'm not performing right now. There's no stage for me. I'm me right now. Turn this camera off the same way. So if I'm laughing, I'm serious, I'm still him. Point blank, period.
Hey, listen, man, I respect that. Hey, Rob, listen, man, this is We gotta don't. So you're gonna get to learn to everybody. But I'm telling you this, Rob. We from up north, but if you allow the internet to get underneath your skin, you would listen. They would take a clip of you
and tear your ass up.
I'm telling you, you better let's keep all of that away from the internet because I'm telling you, you won't be the first, and goddamn it, you won't be the last. The internet is undefeated. And
YouTube was a lot different than Clubhouse. You talk shit on YouTube, on Clubhouse, but YouTube, they take clips and then make a whole show about your ass. You know what I'm saying?
And buddies, Mr. Let-Go don't want us to laugh. We can't have no unauthorized laughing on here. Okay.
Exactly.
So,
no unauthorized laughing.
Unless he's down, unless he knows about it.
Right, Mr. Let-Go, did you even read the back chat? Did you read?
You can laugh, Rio. You can laugh, Rio. It's all right, bro.
Don't worry, Mr. Let-Go ain't gonna yell at you.
Mr. Let-Go talk about how we do stuff. Mr. Let-Go, you knew too. You knew.
Exactly. He is new, but he the laugh patrol though.
Oh shit. All right, man. That's
I got people in the chat room getting Rod 100. He ain't this ain't online. He like this in person. Yo, tell your peoples to calm down, Rob. All right, this ain't.
I don't want no smoke, Rod. I don't want no smoke, bro. Just calm down.
You know, I keep respect at an all-time high. I respect everyone, so I demand it back.
Well, just keep this in mind. Just from my standpoint, my perspective, I was actually actively looking to help you as well as the audience and using what you said as an example of like, yo, like go toward the trauma, and y'all started busting out laughing and shit. So from a respect standpoint, y'all were disrespectful also. I don't want an apology, but when we're really trying to help the people and using, whatever, and I'm like, yo, this is a traumatic issue and you got to deal with it. And both of y'all just started falling out laughing. To a certain degree, that was a little disrespectful. Feel me? So
to be honest, I didn't really want the help though. You dig what I'm saying? I didn't ask for the help.
The audience, bro. The audience.
I apologize, Mr. Let-Go.
The audience.
All right, we're gonna move on, y'all. We're gonna move on.
Rise fun, Mr. Let-Go. You right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put in my hall pass next time I want to giggle.
Yeah, we're gonna move on. And just so you know, Rob, like Mr. Let-Go and like Ali go at it all the time. So like I think
me and Let-Go ain't new to this.
Okay. All right. With that being said, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor, T Channel again, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. Got some super chat up, I think, Ricky. Here we go.
Tap, what's good, my boy? Mr. Let-Go, you realize they're the most fertile?
He's among the fat girls.
Probably, yeah, the big part. The real Pookie, name one high-value male, HBM, high-value male still with a hefty BM wife waiting. Master Roshi, what's good? He said, I thought men mold the women they want, not sit and hope they find the one. Make it make sense. It's both, bro. Master, same shit. Master Roshi again.
Okay.
James P and JR, he said, shout out to my man's RJD. He's a real one. Black Lexicon, what's good, bro? He said at IG, why do you claim progress over perfection? That is a popular business theme. I understand I understand it, but perceived perfection is what I seek. Just curious about your thoughts on it. Sir Hale in the building. What's good, my guy? Salute, King. Salute to you, G.
All right, shout out to you, Sir Hale Speaks. Appreciate you, sir. I got one more came through.
Mr. Penn again. Yo, Rod, I'm getting flashback of when you was in a stairwell with the hoodie.
Hey, Rob, man, Rob. Listen, man.
Rod out here acting like Bishop.
Hey, Rob, where you from? You from the Bronx?
Nah, I'm Queens originally, but Long Island is long way.
Long Island right now. You Queens. Yo, but tell your peoples, man. It's chill, man.
Rod out here like Bishop.
I'm a perfect gentleman, man. You heard? Man, perfect gentleman.
Hey, yo. Oh, man.
All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and move on. Moving on to our next topic of the night. Next topic. Where we at? Emotions are to be managed, not acted on. Emotions are to be managed, not acted on.
Are to be managed, not acted on. But we act on them every day. We trying to, damn, she bad.
Yep.
I'm trying to hit that because she got a fatty. Emotionally, I'm gonna strap up. And you don't because you caught up in the emotion. You bust off. Then after you bust off, you like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. Now you got VD symptoms, gonorrhea symptoms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you made an emotional decision or she get pregnant. Now you have a responsibility that came from the result of an emotional decision and you're not even mature enough to control your emotions. And this is how we get messed up children.
Emotions are to be managed, not acted on. Let's go ahead and speak on it, gentlemen. We'll start with you, Rio. I know you didn't get a chance to get a lot of light on that last topic.
I think that's a tough one. I think that he's correct, but I've noticed how it can be problematic in relationships. I think sometimes we can manage our emotions so well that we don't know when it's time to be emotionally available to our women, our children. You know, it's easy to just do what you know, so to speak. Irresponsible decisions are one thing. I get what he's talking about there. Fine. But you still have to be able to know when you need to express certain emotions that you feel for people so that they know that you actually feel them. This is something that a lot of us work on just in general. You know what I mean? So if in fact you overmanage that, it can become problematic when it's time to maintain authentic, you know what I mean, and intimate relationships with women and, like I say, people that we love in general. That's what I had. That was my immediate thought.
All right, go ahead, Eric.
I think what Rio just said was on point. Emotions are tricky, man, because there's been so many narratives about them over the years, especially with us Black men. We've been called emotional in all of our actions, from everything we do to how we treat our women, to how we operate in corporate America, to how we operate in everything. And I think one of the things, and I've heard this many times, you all have probably heard it too, but I just see my emotions more so as alarms to let me know about things that are going on in my life, what's happening. Um, and sometimes I'll be honest, I have acted on emotions before and not uncontrollably, where I did something that was younger. Yeah, I did things that I really probably shouldn't have done. But here lately, you know, I've acted upon them, but you know, that's a tough thing to do. It really is. Is it the cool thing to say, or the social media politically correct thing to say is, oh no, I have totally control over it, I'm good. But um, you know, we all got our buttons. Every man on here got a button. And when that button gets pushed, them emotions gonna come out. When you get squeezed, what's really in you gonna come out. And they usually come out in emotions. So, you know, um, that's really a tough one, because I could have just gave the shelf answer of no, you know, you can't make emotional decisions because it's going to ruin the rest of your life. Well, there are times that you don't make emotional decisions. So then what happens? And how do you deal with it from there?
Shan.
Emotions are to be managed, not acted upon. I think that's impossible for a human being, a sentient being, to be able to do. But it's true at the same time. Emotions are to be managed. It's weird. It's one of those weird, it's a dichotomy within that small sentence. I did a show, man, called it was a while back. It was called Zaddy Training. 6 things that men 40 years old or older must do to remain desirable. It was one of my high value Shan shows. And on that show, I had explained, I think it was number 5, that men need to have the 3 C's: cool, calm, and collective. Once you get over 40, I get it. If you're 30, if you're 40 and young, if you're 30 anything, if you're 20 anything, especially today, you know, with our current economy and our current, you know, Western society, emotions is going to be charged for both men and women. We put that on women, but the men are emotional today, right? But once you get over 40, and if you want to remain desirable, you have to be cool, calm, and collective, typically with everything. There's a fine line between women's emotions and men's emotions. You know, men giving short explanations versus going all off or typing long text messages and sending full ass fucking paragraphs because a woman says something and it triggered you and sets you off. You know, in college today, we have safe spaces for men and women. We have participation trophies for our children because we don't want our sons to be heartbroken for getting second place. Shit like that, you know. But you got to manage that. And that's why we don't believe, or at least I tell people they shouldn't believe in what is called toxic masculinity. There's no such thing. It's toxic masculinity, right? You're just masculine, you know. And in order to be masculine and in order to be in control, and if you claim you want to be the leader of a household, you want to have a program for a woman to fall into, you want to be able to get married and be in control that so many men claim that they want to have, you got to be able to manage those emotions, even though you probably grew up in a very emotionally charged environment, especially if you don't have no dad around. So I agree with it. Emotions are to be managed, right? And not acted upon. I just think it's impossible to not act upon them, but it's necessary to manage them.
Go ahead, Lego.
It's about regulation, in my opinion. You could say manage is the same thing, but when you just look at just the way a car works, if a car runs hot, the thermostat opens up or either closes up, right? So when it comes to us as human beings, when we get too upset, we get too excited, we have to have a certain amount of a foundation, like, for example, certain principles that we live by or something like that. For example, I have something, a personal game I play, which is whose life sucks the most. So if I'm at a bar and I'm talking to somebody or whatever, and they start getting all excited and loud or whatever, the first thing I'm going to think is, oh, wow, this guy's life must really suck. Because the loudest person usually has more issues because of what we're talking about now. They have more of a problem regulating their emotions than the quieter person, right? So that, in my opinion, is a check valve for if my thermostat starts to get too hot and I want to punch somebody in the face, I'm going to start playing whose life sucks the most. And if I'm the loudest or if I'm the more disrespectful, the first thing I'm going to say is, yo, that means my life sucks more than this guy's. So let me calm my dumb ass down. So that in particular is just an example of how you regulate your emotions. So manage, regulate, you can use it either way. But I always believe in regulating my emotions. I don't allow my emotions to just go run wild. So in my opinion, you can easily regulate your emotions, but you have to have some type of verbal principle to say to yourself where you can stop yourself. And it's kind of like a check valve or a thermostat that's in a car. We have to have an emotional thermostat or a check valve in our brains.
Okay.
Can you guys imagine? So we've all watched the zombie apocalypse movies, right? 28 Days Later or The Walking Dead and all these different situations. So and all of you have thought about what would you do if the sky fell, if the world came to an end, if there was a virus that popped out, turned everybody zombies, I Am Legend, and you were one of the last people in your neighborhood to make it. And I know you guys think about, if everybody's fucking going crazy, who dies first? The people that go crazy. The people, the mass hysteria never works out for anybody. You know, being a leader, even, you know, I took a course in the military called PLDC. It was Primary Leadership and Development course. And it was almost about, even on the battlefield, you got to be cool. And so when you guys think about your families, your wives, your girlfriends, your children, your aunties, your uncles, and if the sky fell and the horns are going off and all cell phone communication stopped, who's going to be the coolest and most calm and under control and emotionally managed person in your family? Whoever that person is, all the people that's losing their fucking shit is going to listen to you or to whoever that person is. So just that's why it's really important to manage your emotions, especially as men, being the stronger physically, you know what I'm saying, the more calculated and more, logically and reasonably thinker when it comes to making moves. If we're going to go left, or we're going to go north, or we're going to stay put, if we're going to lock down, you got to manage your emotions when shit hits the fan.
I was looking at it from a different perspective, but I definitely understand those perspectives from I guess flight or fight type issues. But I was thinking at it from a love perspective. Like, you know, I love my kids and I want them to know that I love them, you know. So to manage I wouldn't necessarily, I would act upon those emotions. You know, one of my kids enjoys spending quality time. One may enjoy hugs and kisses, right? And one may just enjoy talking. So for me, I don't want to manage that emotion. I want to be able to act upon that emotion. With my lady, I want to be able to, my fiance, I want to be able to act upon the emotion of love that I have for her. Or when, you know, when I tell you dudes that I appreciate you, like, I don't want to manage that emotion. I want to act upon that emotion. So there are some emotions that definitely needed to be regulated, but as it relates to how you feel about people from a love perspective, I think need to be acted upon a little bit more. That's my particular take.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, if we're talking about the premise, yeah, it's true, right? You should be managed, right? But at this point, especially with just people on YouTube and weird shit, bro, I'm just being honest, right? Like, we people. You know what I'm saying? We people. And I don't think it's about emotions, or I think it's about, like Shannon said, managing them, right? Being in the, and also Dr. HD, being in the right at the right, and Mr. Let Go, being at the right temperature at the right time. You see what I'm saying? Because emotions is what drive you, right? Because emotions is a feeling. It's the feelings you have. So your emotions are very important when you reaching a goal, right? Or if you're looking to express yourself to your children or your ladies, right? Or to get something done at work, right? All these things are based on the way you perceive something, the way you feel about something.
Or in the boxing ring.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Now that, again, it's about regulating, it's about controlling when and where you do it, right? Because me being a fighter, right, in the wrong situation could be to my detriment, right? But if I'm sparring somebody, I gotta be able to release that go on something. You know what I'm saying? When a situation arises. So again, I think the premise is spot on. It's not about, it's kind of both, right? Because you act on them appropriately. So I think it's just about controlling and managing in the right situations.
Anybody else want to chime in on it?
HD, humble dad, when you said that, you know, you want to act upon those emotions, and when it comes to your children, aren't you still managing it to a degree though? Or are you just like, oh my God, I'm gonna just let whatever the fuck comes to my heart happen?
From that perspective, I would say yes, they are regulated. I mean, but I'm pretty,
calculated.
Yeah. You know, brother. Yeah, depending on the kid, you know, I can't do the same thing with one kid that I do for another, because they don't receive it. Like, I have one kid that will act upon if I reward them monetarily or with stickers. Then I got one you're not gonna move him off anything to other than me having a conversation with him. That's what he gets excited about. So
you can't buy him off.
Not at all. Not at all.
So real quick, it also sounds like there needs to be a strategy in place when you're not emotional and when you're not thinking of these things so that you can address them. Because I think the biggest problem is trying to manage emotions without ever thinking about it beforehand. I think many times people don't even have anything in their own head about it. And if you ever made a mistake, which every man on this panel has made this mistake of being emotional, sometimes when people do that, they never go back to look at what they did, who they hurt, the situation, nothing. They just say, hey, I got emotional. It's cool. We good. But from everything that I'm hearing everybody say, yeah, you got to be able to manage it. But also, you got to go look back to where you fucked up. And then when you go back to look at where you fucked up or messed up, then you can then see, okay, you know what? I handled that wrong. And then the other thing that you need to do is this, is if you did handle it wrong and then you go apologize, yo, that rubs everybody the wrong way. And you ain't going to want to do that again. So that's also, a barrier for you as well. So I just want to throw that in there too.
You're talking about being proactive.
I think you
have to be retroactive, but you want to be accountable to be proactive next time. Is that fair to say?
And you got to think about it first. Like this can't be something that you just read this on here or just hear what we're saying. But hopefully we're triggering everybody that's listening to this in some type of way to go back and think about those situations where they did pop off and do something and then figure out, man, how can I do that better next time? Because Shan, you said it. By the time you 40 years old, you didn't had enough of them pop-offs, whereas you can think back and say, I don't want to do that no more.
You pick and choose those battles.
Exactly. So you should know. Exactly. So you should know by then. So it's kind of a thing where you got to just really think about it.
So we have one of our study guides on self-improvement, which is the fundamental basis of community development. Study guide number 18. It says rise above the emotions into the thinking of God. But we're going to take the word God out and say rise above the emotions to the thinking of logic, right? It's teaching, as we have this class on Fridays, teaches us how to and put us in certain situations to get through, to subside the emotions. Don't make decisions when you're mad, right? Because they say 10% of life is about what happens to you. 90% about life is how you react to what happened to you. Even when you're not in a good mood, you should wait to hear to hear other people's information because you might be taking it wrong. The whole 9 yards, you want to be in the best mood about certain things. So like just conquering yourself, at the end of the day, it's pretty much conquering yourself. Your biggest trial is not outside, it's inside. And I understand exactly what it says when it says he's trying to say manage your emotions. It's okay to have feelings. You have feelings, but don't act out on them and you become an emotional person when you acting out on and when you're so impulsive. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get yourself in trouble. Being impulsive. And you making a lot of and they say a lot of times your most emotional decisions that you're going to make that's detrimental to you was between the ages of 15 and 25. The crazy stage, as they call it. So I think it's very essential just to try to conquer your emotions and not allow it to don't let your E control your eyes, what the OGs used to tell me. Like, young, they'll never let your E control your eye. They'll never let your emotions control your intellect. So That's what I got from it, man.
That's kind of.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shannon.
No, I'm just saying I like that. Don't let your ease control your eyes. You know,
Yeah.
what were you getting ready to say? Don't let what rise above what?
Well, don't rise above your emotions into the thinking of logic.
Yeah.
Right? Rise
You know, that
above.
reminds me of a movie. There was a movie that came out a long time ago. You guys should watch it. And this the title of the show is King Talk. We talking to men. That's one of the differentiations between men and women. You know, in this movie, it was Jack Nicholson was the character. It's a movie called As Good as It Gets. And there was a scene in there. He was a writer, right? He was an author or some shit. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys had asked him, he said, hey, you know, how do you write women so well? Is what like another character asked Jack. And he says, I think of a man and I take away reason and accountability. The reason why I can write about women, because he was a woman's writer or some shit, like a columnist. The reason why I'm able to write about women so well is because all I got to do is think of a man and remove reason and accountability. So it's okay to be emotional, brothers. But like Rashawn said, don't let your ease what did it say? Don't let your ease.
Don't let your E control your I.
Don't let your E control your I.
That's dope, bro. That's dope.
That's all.
Yo, and
I actually seen that movie. I actually want to go see it again. Well, not go see it, but watch it.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Shannon, do me a favor, put that in the back chat, and Ali put that phrase in the back chat too. I'm more of a visual person.
Yo, am I not in the back chat? What the hell is the back? What's his back chat?
The private chat.
That's why he didn't want us to laugh. He was jealous. He wasn't in.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the back
Just
chat.
like
He was low key hating, Rashad, right? He was low key hating.
Just like a 13-year-old. Oh man, y'all need to stop. Y'all on some moon, man. That's just at a third until he get to play.
Yo, but I for me, I was listening to everybody talk because emotions for me, as you may tell, is one of those things that I live in. You dig what I'm saying? And I operate it. I'm not gonna lie to you. But that's what got me where I'm at. And I don't say don't what did it say? What's the statement again?
Act upon your
emotions. I wouldn't say act on them, but I wouldn't say not to either. To be honest, I would say check it first. Don't just ride out on it. Check it first. And if it's something that you feel like in your gut that you should, go with. I believe in going with your gut. That's all I got for it.
Yeah, because if you just think about it, if we practice, you know, if we let our emotions get the best of us, life will put you in every type of situation to bring every type of emotions up out of you. We all know what it feels to be mad, happy, disappointed, glad, you know, surprised, jealous, the whole 9 yards. These is emotions, right? If you act on it, you'll be doing some things over envy and jealousy. Jealousy is just emotion. And then next thing you know, you be acting all out on it, and all because you're jealous of something and reacting off that. No, you got to subside it. Why, man? You got to talk to yourself. Well, what the fuck I'm jealous for? You got to check yourself. It's all right. You know, plenty of people. I mean, I ain't never, you know, everybody tough. I ain't never felt the emotion jealousy. Okay, bro. All right. It's okay to talk to yourself. Just like you probably wanted to harm somebody, but did you do it? No, you didn't do it. Don't make you a murderer because you thought about it in your mind because somebody made you that mad. Like, y'all could kill this nigga right now, man. But you ain't do it. You ain't a murderer. You're not a jealous person if you ain't react off to the emotion after you done checked it. It's okay to check yourself. You know, but that level of responsibility, we got to be able to be willing to take. You know, I'm responsible for my own emotions. I'm going to check that thing. Nah. No, that's not the best move right now. I'm not going to make that move.
You might want to check your Wi-Fi. That's one thing you might want to check.
Yeah.
Man, we gotta go ahead and get to the meat of the conversation. It's time for the meat, and we know the ladies like the meat. It's the main topic. over the night. Let's go ahead and get to it. Unfortunately, I was unable to get the video to cooperate for some reason. I had a little system put in place, and I think I got a corrupt script somewhere, which is not allowing me to do what I need to do. So I'm going to play the audio version of it through my sound system here. So hopefully this works out. The main topic of the night is, are men in relationships more successful than single men? Let me go ahead and play this.
I feel like this. Most men are more successful that I see that's either married or in a relationship.
Yes, facts.
Cause you can't be giving not only your time, but you can't be giving your energy all over the place. That ain't good for you.
Energy, resources.
Yeah. When you dating multiple women, you never gonna get in the flow because you low key trying to impress, you trying to do this, you spending unnecessarily money all the time. Or you in a relationship, listen, who I'm showing out for. I mean, of course I want to show out for my wife,
right?
But I ain't got to be extra. I could just be me. Anytime you're in a situation, you could just be you. That's gonna be the most beneficial. I think it helped my brand out because I feel like that you can build. People trust you a little bit more, knowing that
facts.
You know this what you into though. I ain't saying that everybody got to be married or nothing like that, but when I do see somebody that I may
facts,
looking to a little for a mentor. If I see you married and you with your family, not necessarily perfect, I'm like, okay, maybe I can trust this person. You know what I mean?
Facts.
A little bit more.
It's a reason why we never had a single president.
I feel like this.
All right, that's all I got. So let's go ahead and open up this discussion. Are men in relationships more successful than single men? What are you guys' thoughts about it? Let me go ahead and start with Rio again. Unless I can come to you second, Rio, if you ain't ready. I just want to make sure I get you some talk time in.
I mean, immediately when I think about success, I don't know if it really has anything to do with being in a relationship or not. I think it. I think single people are being successful all across the world each and every day. So I'm having a hard time correlating the two. However, I will say that in a relationship, if you are with, I don't want to say the right person, certainly them being in your life should, if not propel you forward, it certainly should not be holding you back from success. Ultimately, you find ways to add value to each other's lives. So that's my immediate thought, but definitely circle back to me.
Okay.
I would say being in a relationship will give you a certain amount of consistency versus because I've been single for about two and a half years, just building my platform and everything. And it was helpful to me. But one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure to stay single is because I was playing. I wasn't really into finding a wife. I was just, finding a chick to live in my house so I can wake up to some ass every morning. So I had to stop playing. You feel me? So the consistency was never there because I wasn't consistent with the women. You know what I mean? So now just moving forward, a relationship will easily add consistency to what I'm already doing, because one of the things being married or settling down or just being in a relationship with somebody helps you do is to take your craft seriously, because you have other people that are looking up to you, and you can't play around or do this or spend money on dumb shit or make dumb decisions because you have a woman or kids or whatever, or a family to actually look out for. So you'll kind of like make sure that whatever it is you got going on is a little bit more strategized instead of you just being out here doing stupid shit. So being in a relationship with somebody is way more beneficial when it comes to success versus when you single. When you single, there's a side of you where you don't trust the chicks that you dating. You don't trust this so there's a certain amount of inconsistency when it comes to emotions, because even when you're going through something, you ain't really got that one person to sit down and talk to because they're not yours. You can talk to somebody, but that particular person isn't your person. So either they don't understand what you're saying fully, or they're not really invested in what you're saying fully because they don't really give a shit due to the fact that they're not your person.
I think this kind of leads to what JR was saying, right? If you got somebody that's with you and that you can trust, they can help you get rid of a lot of things that you will have to handle yourself, which allows you to increase your focus on the goal. Right? So I think people can be successful, single, if they got the tools and the know-how and, the team to do it. I think it's possible. Right. But I think, again, if you have someone that's there for you, that's innately there to, again, help you and take things off your plate. And especially if they got a vested interest in you besides just the money, just seeing y'all grow together, I think it's an unstoppable team. I think that's really what success would be, that both of y'all can look down at the, off the top of the mountain and say, hey, we both made it here together.
So if you don't mind, I'd like to refer back to what I said early on, topic number 1 of the night. How do you know, or what is the topic number 2? How do you know if you found the right woman? One, there's 2 things that all men should pay attention to. Did your life get easier as a result of her presence? And did your life increase as a result of her presence? Listen, you can make money you can make $1 million all by yourself, or you can get with the right woman and make 3 million. I say that all the time, man. Men, your success or failure in life largely depends on the woman you choose. It just does. But you got to here's something that you got to remember, man. If you choose the wrong one, it could fuck your whole shit up. I've made the most money since we talking success and we in America. Let's talk, and this is a capitalistic society. Let's talk money. I made the most money when I was married. I've kept the most money being single. I made the most money when I was married. I've kept the most money being single. Imagine making $1 million, but you got $700,000 in expenses when you married. Or imagine making $500,000 and you get to keep it all. What would you rather do? Chat, people watching the show? Would you rather make $1 million and have to spend $700,000 in overhead, or would you rather make $500,000 and keep it all?
Wouldn't that mean you chose the wrong one?
Yeah. Yeah. So are men more successful in relationships than single men? It depends. Because did you pick the right woman? Because your success or failure largely depends on who you select. So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, man. I think that men in relationships are more successful. Not that single men can't be successful, but I'm just not looking at success from a financial stance. But I think that they're more successful in accomplishing what they need to accomplish. I thought I was a hustler when I didn't have no children. But when I got married and then she was pregnant, and my hustle game went through the whole nother level. I thought I was a hustler, and it's funny. I was saying if I ain't had no children making the money that I make now, I'd have been single, no children, and if I was able to tap into that, man, it'd be on a whole nother level. I'd be on a whole nother level. But even then, when you're in the relationships, you kind of you successful in, your choices that you make in life are more, listen, this move that I make, this has to happen. Because you got your wife, when you're in a relationship, I'm only speaking marriages, when you got your wife, it's going to affect your family. So every move is now you have some on you talking about the minority of brothers who are single and has that same type of drive. It's not everybody though. We're not going to running around acting like a whole bunch of single men out here focused. No, sir. That's why we on having King talk and you hearing Ricky getting on and Shannon talking to the brothers the whole 9 yards because a lot of single men ain't doing it. They out here chasing pussy. You know what I mean? They really chasing them. They just out here chasing pussy. But you know, man, listen, man, you have more when you single, you have more to you running through everything. When you married, even those who stepping out in marriage, they got to do it differently. I'm not agreeing that those stepping out and doing whatever they doing, but even then they got to do it differently. You ain't about to even have to show more discernment. Every decision that you make, you calculating that to the T when you got a family, man. So that's my approach and my thoughts on that.
I would sit here and say, and I love your outlook on that, Sean, because me personally, and I believe that a man, it's about your level of success, to be honest. See, me, I believe that a man should plant a tree, have a child, and write a book. Like, those are 3 things. Like, if you want to see me as legacy, I don't want to just be here on this earth and then be forgotten. You dig what I'm saying? So for me, I don't count bread no more as my success meter. It's have I done what I need to do before I leave this earth? And that's what I count success. So I think it's all about what you count as your success, not what the world has deemed successful for you as a man. Like if you look at what's going on around us, social media, everything else, you're not deemed successful until you hit a certain dollar amount. And to me, that's nonsense. What is your core values? What do you believe in? What do you want your life to be known for? That's what I think success is in the long run.
If you think about it, I think somebody has said it. I mean, he was saying it at the end. Every politician always campaigns based on family, because people look at it as a sense of accomplishment when you are able to have an intact family. I mean, it's study. I mean, there's so many studies that you can go look at and see that kids within a 2-parent household, or on average, will do better. Not saying, I mean, there are anomalies, right? But on average, will do better mentally, emotionally, and career-wise than those that grow up in a not a 2-parent household, whether that's a live-in, whether that's mom and dad are separated. So just by that alone, what I would say that they're more successful, because the goal should be to build a legacy, and part of your legacy is your family. Then, not to mention, there's a study I'm trying to look at. It was I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to the name of it. It's but research shows marriage is better for men than being single. That's on Task and Purpose website. And then there are a few other websites. And some of the things that it's not just about money, even though it says 10 to 40%. I'm sorry, married men make 10 to 40% more when they're married than when they're single. It also says married men have better sex lives. It says yes with their wives. And then it also says that married guys are physically and emotionally healthier than unmarried dudes. So those are the standpoints in which we measure in success. Each person has a different level measure of success, right? But overall, the studies show that married men are more successful than single men.
Make more money, live longer. But I don't know about that last two.
I'm with you, Shannon. I'm with you on that. I scratched my head on those last two.
Them last two. I'm like, man,
I just had the wrong one. You already said that.
No. And I think it's cultural too. I think it's cultural.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
y'all admit that y'all picked the wrong ones, brothers.
I mean,
different.
No, I'm talking about the people I talk to. I'm talking about my frat brother. I'm talking about I talk to thousands of people a year. I'm just saying those last two, the healthy and the
sex.
In the sex is like,
Shane, you always go with the studies, bro. I'm just telling you what the studies.
No,
say.
no, that's what I'm saying. I believe it's cultural. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's cultural. I believe because sexually speaking, black brothers is the most desired people on the planet. So I think the people that's taking that poll ain't got it like black men. So I'm just they ain't got it like a bald head, silverback looking like Dr. HD. They ain't got it like you. So I'm just saying the people that took that vote don't have it like fucking Ricky and shit. But and then the fit part. Anyways, continue. Go. I already went. Y'all go.
What fraternity were you from, Shan?
Kappa Alpha Psi, the best one on the planet.
Okay.
Doubt it.
Okay, yes, sir.
So I just wanted to throw out there, I think we should say men in healthy relationships, because there are a lot of people who are in relationships. There's a lot of people who are married who will end up in divorce, right? So it doesn't, just because you're in a relationship does not necessarily mean that you'll be more successful. You're speaking to people who are actively supporting each other and operating, you know what I mean, within a system that's working. You know what I mean? People who genuinely are committed to what it is that they're in. That's not everybody. You know what I mean? So some people literally are better off stepping outside of that and just focusing on what they need to focus on in order to better themselves. You know what I mean? So like it's not a general or a blanket thing. You know what I mean? So once again, if you find the right one, if you're in a relationship that is not serving the both of you, or not trying to usher you into marriage, you just have to be honest about what it is that you're in. You know what I mean? Because ending up in divorce may cause you financial distress and strain and problems, emotional issues, and all kind of things. You know what I mean? So,
Rio, you've been married before?
I have not, but I've observed a lot of marriage and relationships that have not worked. Unfortunately, that's the majority of what I've seen.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's
unfortunate.
I got you. The only reason why I asked that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the majority of what I've seen. What I will say is this: success, and this actually is pertaining to the last topic, and I didn't get a chance to mention it, and to this topic. Success isn't just managed by financial, as you also mentioned, Ali. When I think about HD, I never had a Dr. HD. I never really had an opportunity to ask him what that was like, so to speak, and what effect it had on his family when he lost his wife. That's something that's outside of his control.
Back to the buyer's agent, and
that's something that's outside of his control, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I think to myself, okay, what if you experience something like that? What is the effect after it's all said and done? What's the effect on you, your children, and your family? And how do you re-enter the dating world? You know what I mean? Because you imagine there has to be some healing that's taking place, not only with you, but your children. Has to be some emotional, repair, you know what I mean, that you have to do within yourself and for your children. And then you got to think about, how are you going to make space now that you're the one and only parent, for yourself to have alone time, as well as for the person that you're dating. And then he meets this woman of who I highly respect without even meeting her, because how HD feels about her. She says, hey, I understand everything that you've been through. You know what I mean? And here I am. And if you can devote yourself to be a good husband to me, I can be a good wife to you and mother to now our children. To me, that's success. It's nothing to do about where he is financially. You know what I mean? What it has everything to do is how she's, committed to stepping into a role, so to speak, that improves the life of him and his children potentially, and how he's been able to do the work within himself in order to be able to serve her considering all he's been through and has dealt with.
Yeah, I agree.
Money and everything else is going to come, but success is being able to take that kind of loss and then repair and begin to rebuild and repair your familial unit. You know what I'm saying? And find the right person and re-enter a healthy relationship. You know what I mean?
No,
and rebuild. So I think of it in a lot of different ways. So like I say, this is part of the reason, just also why HD, I'm very happy for you, my brother, for what, you know what I mean? For your proposal and what you're getting ready to go into with you and your soon to be wife. To me, in my eyes, you're successful, and I don't know how much money you make.
And
I appreciate that, homie.
100%. The 100% that is definitely a staple of another form of success, and I agree with you on many different forms. Even those who aren't married, if you're able to have a certain level of success, but I think that the key matchup for success, if you had to grade a single man who earns $1 million, right? Who earns $1 million, and then a person that's in a relationship who earns $750,000, and then a married man who got a family, right? Been married, and that man earned, to say he earned 700,000 or even 750,000, right? In my book, that man who got that family, right, who has that family, that married, is that success is on another level. It's big difference. That married man is a big difference. He's just on another level because he can't, he gotta always think about other than himself. The single man, only thing he got to do is just worry about himself. The person that's in the relationship, yeah, we all know, everybody that been married before, it's a difference when you say that you married and this is your girlfriend. That was your girlfriend was a big deal before you ever reached marriage before. But once you got married, it's like you felt it's a big difference. As much as people who haven't been married, think nothing change, especially if you've been with somebody for like 7, 8 years. What should change? I done live with her the whole 9 yards. No, when you say I do, it changed, bro. Something clicks in her mind.
Yeah.
And bro, I'm telling you, it's another level.
What I wanted,
it's definitely different levels of success. Go ahead.
I didn't know if you was asking me a question or not, King Rio. Were you asking me a question or you just providing a statement?
So I was just making a statement based off of what I observed. You know what I mean? Because you've kind of been generous in sharing what your experience has been with your podcast and even on this podcast, as far as like just being a dad. And for you, that meant a lot of things. You know what I mean? You kind of having to hold down the fort. You know what I mean? And you've expressed you've been married, but the way that it ended wasn't necessarily within your control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So being able to kind of actually come back and re-enter, you know what I mean, the dating world, so to speak, and have success at it, and then rebuild your family unit, so to speak, by implementing her and have success at that too. I'm seeing a lot of successes, and I'm seeing a healthy relationship. I don't know the inner workings of your relationship because we haven't talked about it and what all you and your children have been through in detail, but just looking at the facts that you laid out and seeing where you're at now.
That's the best. I would encourage everybody to get counseling. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're in a relationship, getting into a relationship, coming out of a relationship. And so I did a lot of that, and I talked to my kids a lot about where I was and then moving forward, and what most people don't know is that before my late wife passed, we talked about what it would look like if one of us was to go. Didn't know it would be so soon, but we talked about that. So that helped me in my process because she told me she wanted me to remarry. Right. She told me that. And that's the type of woman that she was. And so that's what it was for me. And so that's just a little bit tidbit. And then, my fiance, for her, she knew everything day one. And I was intentional about if I was going to talk to anybody, I'm looking for a wife. I'm not trying to be out here. I would have been, man, listen, I didn't get into the streets, but I know myself that if I would have not put myself in a position of saying I need to be intentional about finding somebody moving forward at some particular point in time, that I would not have been a good dude to be with later on. Like, I know that about myself. Right. And so the next thing that I wanted to say is that we oftentimes mention, well, you know, they may not be happy in their marriage. People say that all the time, as if single people are happy being single. Right. So I want to kind of not debunk, but say that it goes both ways. That yes, there are some people in
It's
marriage.
happiness being single now. I just want to say that. It's definitely happiness being single.
Correct. I am acknowledging that. But when we tell people that, you know, there are 50% of people that are still married, the statement goes to, well, all of them ain't happy. You feel me? And I'm saying it works on the other end. Every single person is not happy. Like, they struggling not being married or being in a successful relationship. So I'm saying that we got to stop doing that, because the goal should be looking toward being having a productive relationship. I think I was talking to Ricky when he called me. I was saying, listen, man, people so harbor on this 50% not working, but this don't stop people from trying to go start businesses that fail 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the first year, they fail. And what do? They still start businesses. And Black people are the most, and I did research on this. That's what my dissertation is on. The fastest to have a business and the fastest to fail. But they don't think about that. They just say, I saw somebody else be successful, I think I can too. But why not take the exact same approach to a degree of, like, I want to be married. What does a successful marriage look like? And let me go find those people, you know what I'm saying? And talk to those people. So that's just my take on the whole deal.
All right, we go ahead and Eric, go ahead and close us out on this topic.
It's just one thing I want to say, and I just want to bring in experience. So remember what I said earlier. I was in a marriage for 21 years. So even though I got divorced, I experienced a measure of success. But there are many things that failed. So you cannot just draw a line and say successful, not successful. What was the success in that marriage? 3 boys who know who they are, doing their own thing, starting their own business and making it happen. They were probably one of the main reasons why I even stayed. You know, legacy was involved, all those types of things. I had ups and downs with that woman. We did all kinds of stuff, whatever. But I just want to give the subtle nuance of, don't draw one line and say on this side when you're single, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to experience as much success as you are married. But there are nuances that are in the midst of all of it. And you have to look at it from that standpoint. I stayed for those 21 years mainly, and people can argue about it. We'll talk about it later on another day or whatever. But I stayed because of those kings. I stayed because of those kings. And to me, that was wildly successful. And by the way, they had nothing to do with how much I made. You know what I'm saying? And in a certain sense, it didn't really even have a lot to do with my relationship, but I do feel that I was successful in that. And now that I'm single, I'm successful in that same thing. So, you know, as you think about this, you know, just think about the subtle nuances. Don't be so dogmatic about it. Be very careful and just check out what you gotta, how you gotta look at things. So that's all I have to say.
I appreciate it. Rick, get through these super chats. All right.
Yeah, the real Pookie again. Shout out to Rob Bellins in the house. AAB, someone give Mr. Let Go his Herschel Walker Sheriff badge. He's on Laugh Patrol tonight. What's good, Tap? Shout out to Ricky Williams. I see you rocking the TBE gear. Either you know or you don't know shit about boxing. Good talk, Kings. Much love and respect. Yeah, you don't know shit about boxing. Me University. I said feel, not anger. We need emotional content. Bruce Lee training loud. Enter the Dragon. The woman quiet in the chat. So you know. Me University. If I raise up, it's gonna be trouble. Go walk it off. Empress, $20. Thank you, sis. Becoming less reactive to others and more proactive towards self-awareness, knowing your triggers, being socially aware, understanding everyone will not think or respond like you. Empress again, learning how to deal with them at the right time and place is one step closer to the hardest thing we will have to do in life, and that is self-mastery.
It's a fact.
Gina 789. Everybody who's married are not happy. Convenient. They put on an act. Don't pressure people into marriage. Pressure friendship first. You obviously haven't been here, but that's okay. Welcome. Gina 789 again. So you tell a person on the first night that you are looking to get married, you should. That's scary. Then you don't want to be married for real. You can't get it taken advantage of, and that will run people off. You don't only get taken advantage of if you don't have no goddamn standards.
She's scared as hell.
People don't listen to Gina. Exhibit A of who not to listen to.
Gina needs some therapy.
She needs some milk.
And that's
Mr. Let Go for coaching. He'll walk you through it.
rub some what is that vapor rub on your chest, Gina, and go to sleep before you go to sleep.
And that's from people, and that's from people who are married and people who've been divorced.
That's right.
Both sides of the spectrum. Go to sleep, Queen.
Operate negative mindset and think you're gonna get positive results. You beating yourself before you even start. Y'all weird, bro.
Put some vapor rub on your chest, on your chest,
and the bottom of your feet. And the bottom of your feet.
On the bottom of your feet. Yeah.
Put socks on.
Some Absorber Junior.
Go Gina. Go Gina.
Yeah, some go Juby berries.
Thank you for rocking with us, though. We appreciate you.
We definitely appreciate you, Gina.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be the time for the show. Definitely appreciate you guys' perspectives tonight. It was much needed. You know, we had some highs and some lows, some laughs, some giggles. We had some police. We had all type of shit tonight. So it was a great show.
No giggling, JR. No giggling.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try not to, brother.
My bad, y'all. I won't laugh next time. My bad.
Hey,
y'all.
go off camera when you giggle. That way he don't know. Hold on.
With that being said, man, make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel before you guys leave. Shout out to the sponsor, T Chanley again. And Shan, you cool?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Whenever y'all want to laugh, y'all gotta.
All right, y'all. It's been a great show, man. Peace out, man. I'll let y'all. Thank y'all. You off beat, Shan.
This is my Kanye.
Bitch, I'ma go all the way up. They keep on calling my phone. They catching on to the buzz. I got it out of the mud, but I'ma go all the way up. Bad girl from the store. She taking me out of this world, bitch, I'ma go wave. Nice guy with a cold shoulder. You be cool, but I don't know you. Wrote a flower and I'm off the potion. Give me superpowers that I won't stop. To the bank roll on supermassive. Big bank for the space chatter. Way up in the squad NASA. Copper field with the dark magic. Subtle flex when I run a race. Tell these rap niggas eat my dust. Lil baddie off the cellular. Talking life and how we set it up. I'm a sharp shooter, yeah, Will Smith. Call me Prince Park, let me freshen up. Bay boy on a level up. Way up near the nebulas. I'm never copping a chain. Cause I see it all through the frames. And I leave it all on the pages. Feeling like they want me locked in a cage. They want us all on the fake shit. But I'ma go all the way A with it. Cause I don't feel all the way safe here. Nah, spray the champagne shower up in the air. Stunning goggles, what the fuck is a flute? Untamed and she wild off the goose. Ghost ride, bitch, I come through the roof. Fuck 12 cause they all on my tail. Hella wild and I break all the rules. Chill, chill, bro, you way out of line. Yeah, I know it's a mood. Bitch, I'ma go all the way up. They keep on calling my phone. They catching on to the buzz. I got it out of the mud, but I'ma go all the way up. Bad girl from the store. She taking me out of this world, bitch, I'ma go all the way. Got the JD squinting, got the gator spinning. I'm outrageous with it, going crazy with it. Got the phrase jumping off the page, gifted, got the waves pushing, got the neighbors tripping, got the trap booming, jumping off the speakers. Drip on me, jumping off the easel. Gold wristed, couldn't tell me shit, bitch. Nah, bottle fisted, cook.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Look, mile like 3-6 pulled up, ski trip, cold winter. All my eating good, I remember when we had no dinner. West side, east side, no side, both sides with me. Check, come and check, leaving flex season 12, come and get me. Gil, the run around, high speed, chasing all the big bags. Bending corners, bending rules, bending necks, Gil, the whiplash. Slide through hot knife, warm butter storm, gutter drain lane. Young man, old habit, still at it, tryna let my chain hang. True story, new story, 2-story condo, B&B. 4 bath, 1 me, no key, like I did a B&E. B&Me so good, so hood, so not worried about it. 250,000 new views, old news, know you probably heard about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Headline, word around town, flexing. Ballin' on my course, so I ain't worried about nobody out of bounds, stressing. Feeling like Hercules, murder these ain't a problem to me. Tried to tell the maid service don't come unless you bringin' condoms to me. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, 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 hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, 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 hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.